sir.
Welcome to Tokyo, Japan, where the Red Sox begin the defense of their World Championship a year ago. 2008 begins right now.
勝利は代価を厭わない者に属する。
Japan, the land of the rising sun, a country with ancient culture mixed with 21st century technology. In the 1870s, American professor Horace Wilson introduced baseball to Japan. Today, the island country of over 127 million people has become a baseball-crazed nation. In 2006, Daisuke Matsuzaka returned to his homeland, a world baseball champion and a national hero. This morning, he and teammate Hideki Okajima return as World Series champions. After a 16-hour flight from Fort Myers to Tokyo, the rest of the Boston Red Sox will begin the defense of their World Series crown against the Oakland Athletics here in the Tokyo Dome.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Fenway Park.
They struck him out, and the Red Sox win. Daisuke Matsuzaka gets ready as he prepares to pitch in his home country against the Oakland A's as the Red Sox and A's begin the 2008 regular season. Hi, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo. Welcome to Red Sox Baseball, along with Jerry Remy, as the Red Sox begin the defense of their championship. And tonight, a special night for the Red Sox. And, Jerry, it's early morning back home and a little bit of pressure here for Daisuke pitching in his home country.
Well, there is, Don. You know, opening day is always very special, but this pregame ceremony we just witnessed is one of the best I've ever seen. And this is certainly different for everybody involved. But you're right, Daisuke Matsuzaka opening the season for the Red Sox, getting the start, and also opening up back in Japan is special for him. There has to be a tremendous amount of pressure, but he's felt it his whole life. I mean, he was a superstar here as a high school player, or certainly when he played professionally and then going over to the United States. So who knows? I mean, he may be the calmest of anybody here on opening day, but this has been a heck of a lot of fun, and let's get the thing going.
Better than 55,000 here at the Tokyo Dome. We'll get it going when we come back with the first pitch. As sponsor of NESN's coverage of Red Sox Go Global, State Street is proud to support the world champion Boston Red Sox as they look to repeat their 2007 winning season. First pitch is next.
One, two.
Boston Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, Nissan, Rico, Aflac, your local Lincoln Mercury dealers, and by Sovereign Bank, the official bank of Red Sox Cable Network. Yeah, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Tokyo Dome in Japan as Joe Blanton takes the hill tonight for the Oakland Athletics in the first game of the season.
Well, last year, Joe Blanton was 14-10 for the A's with a 3.95 ERA. He made 34 starts. He made a couple against the Red Sox, was 0-1, and in his career against Boston, 2-1.
Set. Here we go.
Dustin Pedroia stands in on the right side, and the first pitch of 2008 is in there for strike one. So Dustin Pedroia leading it off for the Red Sox tonight. The .317 batting average in his Rookie of the Year campaign for the Red Sox a season ago. 8 homers and 50 runs batted in. Crosby diving, can't get it short. And it's into center field, a leadoff single for Dustin Pedroia. Joe Blanton, a 14-game winner a year ago, ready to deal with Kevin Youkilis here in the top half of the first inning.
Well, Joe Blanton will throw 2 different types of fastballs, a cross-seamer, the 2-seamer, a curve, a slider, and a changeup.
Euclid's a .288 batting average last year, 16 homers, 83 runs batted in. Of course, the Gold Glove Award winner at first base. No one on the dirt as Suzuki comes up with it. No advance at first base for Pedroia.
Well, John, in those pregame introductions of both clubs, by far the biggest ovation was for Daisuke Matsuzaka, who at the time was warming up in the bullpens, and the bullpens are underneath the stands. You don't get a chance to see him.
Kind of a strange setup. This one chopped to third. Hanahan with a bobble still has a chance to get Euclid at first and does. Let's check out the rest of the Red Sox starting nine. We've seen Pedroia and Euclid. David Ortiz coming up as the DH. Manny Ramirez in left. Mike Lowell at third base. Brandon Moss added to the Red Sox lineup. J.D. Drew out with a lower back problem tonight. Jason Varitek doing the catching. Jacoby Ellsbury in center field and Julio Lugo at shortstop bats ninth. So one down. Dustin Pedroia at first base, and here's David Ortiz. Ortiz hitting at .332 a year ago, 35 homers and 117 runs batted in.
And also a guy that has hit Joe Blanton very well. .417 in his career with one home run.
The A's putting the shift on for David Ortiz. David after the first pitch, skies one. Left side, Hanahan backpedaling to the outfield. And the Oakland A's third baseman puts it away for the second out.
Number 24, Manny Ramirez.
So two down. Dustin Pedroia standing at second base, and it brings up Manny Ramirez. Manny last year batting under .300 for the season at .296. The home run totals down from a year ago for Manny. 20 home runs last year. It has been a remarkably consistent career. Last year very different. Manny working out earlier this season in Arizona in preparation for his contract year, and looks to have a monster season in 2008. To the 1-0, he carves it foul, and it's 1-1.
Well, Don, it's certainly not new for both of these clubs. They both played exhibition games here, as you well know, over the last few days, and pretty much accustomed to the backdrop, which all the players say is very, very good. And the playing field, the Euclid today told me you got to be very careful because the ball stays down when it's on the ground.
Sometimes you get the bouncy surface on the field turf in Tampa. It's not the case here. Very low as far as the bounces go, as Manny takes it the opposite way down the right field line towards the corner. It'll go foul as Travis Buck gives chase. You read about the backdrop. So many players talking about how dark it is and how easy it is to pick up the ball out of the dark green and straightaway center field.
Yeah, this whole dome reminds me a lot of St. Pete, the Trop, and of course in Minnesota, because they have the same type of roof. But very similar to a combination of both places.
Crowds here have been very loud. Of course, their teams playing in the exhibition games over the weekend. A little bit different tonight. The exception of Daisuke Matsuzaka on the mound. And we do indeed see Hideki Okajima. As Ramirez again lifting it the opposite way. Into foul ground goes Buck. There is a lot of foul ground here. Very familiar to the Oakland Athletics. The Red Sox don't score on the top of the first. The A's coming up as Daisuke takes the hill in his home country. Welcome back to the Tokyo Dome in Tokyo, Japan. As Daisuke Matsuzaka has taken the hill, let's check out the Oakland A's lineup brought to you by Rico. Travis Buck leads it off in right field with Mark Ellis at second base, Derek Barton at first base, Jack Cust is the designated hitter in the cleanup spot for the A's, and Neil Brown in left. Bobby Crosby at shortstop, Jack Hanahan at third base, with Kurt Suzuki doing the catching, batting eighth, and Ryan Sweeney in center field, batting ninth. On the mound for the Red Sox is Daisuke Matsuzaka.
Well, in his rookie season with the Red Sox, 32 starts, a 15-12 record with a 4.40 ERA. He did make one start against the Athletics. He lost that game, giving up only 2 earned runs in 7 innings. Career right here at the Tokyo Dome, 8-2. That's in 11 games.
Travis Buck standing in for the Athletics here in the last half of the first inning. As the Red Sox left Dustin Pedroia in scoring position in the top half of the inning. And the pitch in on the ground to second base right at Pedroia. Fires to first for the out.
I don't know how Travis Buck saw that pitch. It was those flash bulbs all over the place on the very first delivery from Matsuzaka.
So one down, and it'll bring up Mark Ellis. Ellis at .276 last year, 19 homers, 76 runs batted in. The Oakland A's second baseman, as the A's, a great many changes during the offseason. They have gone with a bit of a youth movement now, and their players changing uniforms for this season. They have 4 rookies on the opening day roster. Ellis returning now as one of their veterans as he takes ball 1 for Matsuzaka.
Yeah, this is certainly a different looking Oakland club than a year ago, but similar in many ways. They still do not have a lot of speed. It's kind of that Billy Beane type of baseball that he likes to create. A lot of on-base guys. They don't run very much.
Mark Ellis puts a charge into this one out towards deep left center field. Ellsbury back. That ball is up. That ball is gone. Mark Ellis, who hit 19 home runs last year, it's a solo shot here to put the A's on top 1-0.
Well, that kind of stuns the crowd here at the Tokyo Dome a little bit as Matsuzaka is taken deep by Mark Ellis. Ellis gets the fastball and over that wall in left center field.
The home run for Ellis as the A's on top 1-0 is Derek Barton. And on the left side, and not the start that Daisuke wanted. Interesting to see how he reacts here.
And we'll take another look at the home run by Ellis. You're going to see it's a fastball by Daisuke that's supposed to be away. Veritek was set up away. The ball goes inside to Ellis and right into his power.
Ellis had 19 of them last year, and he's got his first in 2008.
Again, you see that mislocation there. Veritek wants it away. The ball is inside and right over that left field wall. I'll tell you, Ellis to me is one of the most underrated players in the American League.
This one chop foul outside of first base. And it's 2-1 now to Derek Barton. Barton at 22 years old. He's youngest opening day starter since Eric Chavez started at third base back in 2000 at the age of 22. The young Oakland Athletics. 3 home runs during the spring. And batting in the number 3 spot in this A's lineup. Spent all of last year at AAA Sacramento. He got the chance to play in 2 games against the Red Sox last year, 4 for 7 in his brief time in the majors in September. Makes the 3-1 for ball 4 and down to first base.
The Red Sox defense is brought to you by Lexus. Last year they finished second in the American League with 81 errors. It'll be Mike Lowell at third base, Julio Lugo the shortstop, Dustin Pedroia at second, and Kevin Youkilis at first base. Left to right, Manny Ramirez, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Brandon Moss, as Don mentioned, filling in for J.D. Drew, who's a late scratch with a bad back, and Jason Veritek doing the catching.
And we got news about J.D. just before the first pitch tonight. As the Red Sox knew Sean Casey was going to be unavailable with a stiff neck as he came up with that after the long flight. J.D. Drew coming up with a back problem here just before the first pitch. So Brandon Moss in there tonight for the Red Sox. One out. Derek Barton at first base. He's already on top 1-0. And here's Jack Cust. Last year had 26 home runs for the Oakland A's and is the designated hitter tonight.
Now right now Daisuke having all kind of problems with his control, trying some sliders, missing, tried a curveball, missed with that.
Varitek making his way out to the mound. One thing the A's will do is be very patient. That philosophy has been instilled in them now for quite a while under Billy Beane, and they are a patient group. And that's one thing that they try to do, certainly wear down the starting pitchers, have them throw a lot of pitches, as Daisuke is here in the first.
Well, last year in walks they were second in the American League, but it didn't turn into many runs. They were 11th in the league in runs.
2-0 game.
One down in the inning. Barton at first base. Run in for the A's. And a count of 2-0 to Jack Cust. Cust carves it foul. Nesson and Comcast would like to welcome viewers to today's game, our first telecast of the 2008 regular season and our first from outside North America. Thanks for watching so early in the morning. The 108th American League season for the Red Sox and their opening game of 2008. It's the earliest by date in Major League history on this March the 25th. A swing and a miss.
Excellent changeup right there by Matsuzaka. He had the count at 2-1. He goes with the changeup, and you can see it almost acting like the screwball going down and away from Cust.
Daisuke, a 15-game winner in his first year in the majors last year in 32 starts. And joining the Red Sox after an 8-year career with the Cebu Lions, the Nippon Professional Baseball, the other league, as this one hits him and he led down to first base.
Well, this has all the makings, Don, of a very short outing for Daisuke. I mean, he's not even close here in the first inning. Control all over the place, throwing a lot of pitches. And let's not forget, this is still pretty much spring training for a lot of these guys. They're still trying to build up their pitch count. Again, not even close with the fastball for Daisuke as he gets Cust right off the foot. So maybe the nerves have got to him a little bit here in the first inning.
We talk about all the firsts last year for Daisuke Matsuzaka, but none bigger than this first. The opener of the season for the Red Sox, and right here in his home country where so much is expected of him. And you talked about a little bit in the pregame. He's a guy that threw 250 pitches in the past. They have been able to see that. Now coming into tonight, this being March the 25th, and a guy who right now is still dealing with a pitch count, maybe somewhere in the 80 pitch mark. I mean, he really had to get through these first couple of innings to give him a chance to get a win later on. Having a very tough first inning. A swing and a miss for Emil Brown. This player profile is brought to you by Sovereign Bank, the official bank of the Red Sox cable network. And the starts, innings, and strikeouts leader for the Red Sox a year ago. The 15 victories and the 32 starts. And starting on opening day this year for the Red Sox. As this one kicks off Varitek, the runners will advance. Barton to third, Cust to second. And a wild pitch charged to Daisuke.
And again, Daisuke not able to put back-to-back good pitches together. He's going to bounce the breaking ball this time to Jason Varitek. Varitek blocks it. It rolls up that third base side, but still two runners able to advance. There's the slider from Matsuzaka. Varitek doing all he can to block it. He does. Rolls up that third base line, but now two men in scoring position.
Still just one out in the inning. Neil Brown, of course, playing for the Kansas City Royals over the last 3 seasons. Now a member of the Oakland Athletics, and getting the start in left field. He will share duty in left with Jack Cust, who tonight is being used as a DH for Bob Guerin.
And this early in the ball game, the Red Sox do have the infield back.
Oh, the swing and a miss. And it's a full count as Daisuke tries to find his bearings here in the first. And also see time in right field as he did during the spring, playing in 12 spring games and hitting at .317. Now his fourth different major league team broke into the big leagues with the Pirates. Takes the walk, the second walk of the inning allowed by Daisuke Matsuzaka.
Well, it's going to be virtually impossible for us to tell you if anybody's warming in the bullpen because we can't see the bullpens. The bullpens are underneath the stands behind the dugouts. And right now, nobody in the bullpen. And there they are. It's kind of a strange setup as the relief pitcher will come back out of the dugout to the mound.
We saw that in some of the exhibition games here over the weekend. As Daisuke missing for ball one to Bobby Crosby, the shortstop for the A's.
And he's not missing by a little right now either, Don. He's missing by a lot.
Crosby a down year last year batting average wise, sitting at .226. A swing and a miss. 21 pitches here in the first inning so far for Daisuke. And still only one out. He's given up a home run, a walk. He's hit a batter, walked another. To getting Travis Buck to ground out to begin the first inning. Swing and a miss. He jumps ahead 1-2.
Good fastball that time. Fastball up to Crosby, and of course he can't get on top of that one. It only read at 987 on our gun, but it looked like it was a little quicker than that.
Bases filled with A's here in the bottom of the first inning. Crosby takes a close pitch, 2-2.
Yeah, very close that time. And if Matsuzaka had been showing good control here in the first inning, he may have got the benefit of the call on that last pitch from Rick Reed. That should have been strike three.
Crosby after the 2-2. Daisuke chasing. He will throw to first base for the out as the run scores. He took a quick peek at home, but Blanton scores for the second Oakland run. He does record the out at first base on Crosby, so there's two down, but it's the A's now on top 2-0.
Yeah, that's a heck of a play too by Matsuzaka as he has to charge hard down that third base side, barehands the ball and throws off balance to first base to get the out. Very good play by Daisuke. Plus, we saw all last season is a very good fielding pitcher. Did he have a chance at home? Probably not.
We saw Daisuke in his first stint in a Red Sox uniform last year against Kansas City, initiating a double play that calmed him down in his first outing. And here makes a nice play for the second out in the first inning. So second and third, two down. And Jack Hanahan, who's starting in the place of Eric Chavez at third base tonight. Chavez had 3 different surgeries during the offseason. The back surgery is what is keeping him out of the lineup right now, and on the disabled list at the moment for the Oakland A's, continuing to rehab from that back surgery. Be eligible to be reinstated on April 3rd, but not here in Japan with the A's. So Jack Hanahan getting the start.
And this is a very big batter here early in the ball game. I mean, a base hit here makes it 4-0 early.
It has been a 17-minute first half inning so far for Daisuke.
Think about it too, Don, is when he's missing, even when he's missing close, he's getting no help here from the Oakland batters. They're not swinging anything that's off the plate.
Rick Reed has the plate tonight for the umpires, the veteran umpire. And a swing and a miss. This umpiring crew was in China in the exhibition games that the LA Dodgers played the San Diego Padres. They just stayed here and made their way over to the Tokyo Dome.
See, there's a case again where Matsuzaka got away with a mislocation. That the cut fastball was supposed to be backdoor outside. Instead, it was down and in.
2-2 to Jack Hanahan. And a pitch up for ball 3.
Once again, look at a couple of pitches ago, and you're going to see Veritek. He wants to cut fastball away against Hanahan. Got a little glitch right now. Instead, it was inside. So Daisuke really all over the place. No control at all here in the first inning.
Full count to Hanahan. Runners at second and third. Big strikeout for Matsuzaka to end the first. Couple of runs for the A's who take the 2-0 advantage at the end of one. This broadcast of Red Sox Go Global on NESN is sponsored by State Street, providing global institutional investors with complete financial solutions for success. Really tough first inning for Daisuke Matsuzaka through 30 pitches. And the Oakland A's with a 2-0 advantage as the Red Sox come to bat in the top half of the second inning. It'll be Lowell, Moss, and Veritek in the second. Red Sox got a leadoff single from Dustin Pedroia in the first. Couldn't get him further than second base. And did not score in the first inning. Joe Blanton headed to deal with Lowell, who last year, of course, a fantastic season for the Red Sox, World Series MVP. And he sends one into center field to begin 2008. The first pitch he sees.
Well, the A's have been kind of funny over here, the way they've been treating this two-game set. We take a look at the fastball right down the middle of Mike Lowell and shoots it right back up the middle for the base hit. But they're coming over here and acting like they are a low-class, A-ball club facing the world champions. That's the way they've approached this. And they've got absolutely no pressure on them at all.
Well, they're off to the fast start here tonight on the 2-0 advantage. Brandon Moss, we saw a couple of different occasions last year, made his major league debut. And has a chance here to start on opening day, as it turns out. J.D. Drew out of the lineup with a lower back stiffness. And Brandon Moss making the start in right field for the Red Sox tonight, as he sends one foul off to the left.
That's a shame, too, because J.D. Drew had a couple of terrific games in those exhibition games. A couple of home runs to the opposite field.
Including a grand slam. Brandon Moss beginning his 7th professional season of the Red Sox organization, second at the big league level. In 15 games last year with the Red Sox, 7 for 25, hitting at .280. He was the MVP a year ago for the Pawtucket Red Sox, where he spent the bulk of the year. And an International League All-Star, ended up hitting at .282 with 16 homers and 78 runs batted in with the Paw Sox a year ago. 2 misses. And it's a ball and 2 strikes now to Moss.
Pretty impressive pregame ceremony,
Yes,
wasn't it?
say the least. This one back up the middle, ranging is Ellis. He'll flip to second for one. That's all they'll get, but a nice play by the middle infield of the Oakland A's to get the lead runner in Mike Lowell.
Look at the home run by Ellis back in the first inning off Daisuke Matsuzaka. We mentioned Ellis had 19 last year and picks up his first at bat of 2008.
So one down, Moss at first base, and here's Jason Veritek, the captain of the Red Sox, who had .255 last year, 17 homers and 68 runs batted in. And operating from the stretch with Moss at first base and missing with ball 1.
I mentioned, the A's made a lot of changes in the offseason and quite a few trades. And toward the end of spring training, there was some talk that even maybe Joe Blanton would be moved from this club.
Veritek fooled on the pitch, and it evens at 1-1. Certainly rebuilding right now are the A's. Had a pretty good spring training. There was 16-7 during the spring in Arizona. The strike to Veritek with a look back out of a delayed call from Rick Reed, and it's 1-2.
Well, Veritek thought that ball was high and in.
A's with 4 rookies on the opening day roster. That's Veritek on a double play ball to short. On to first. It is dug out at first on the backhand by Barton. And indeed, a 6-4-3 twin killing that ends the top of the second. It's a 2-0 A's lead.
The Bruins continue to battle for playoff positioning this week in a home-and-home series with the Maple Leafs. Tonight, the action begins at 7 in Toronto and then returns to the Hub of Hockey on Thursday night at 6:30. For full preview of each game, join Catherine Tappan with Mike Milbury, Gord Kluzak, and Rick Middleton on WB Mason Bruins Face Off Live.
Well, the Oakland A's on top 2-0. Daisuke Matsuzaka back on the mound after a tough first inning.
Well, it was a tough first inning. Had tough time with his control here. Veritek wants the ball away. It's down and in. He gets away with it. But this time he does hit his spot. Veritek wants the fastball in. He gets it in and gets the strikeout to get out of trouble in the first inning as he strikes out Hanahan.
We'll be dealing with 8, 9, and 1 in the A's order here in the bottom of the second inning. Kurt Suzuki, Ryan Sweeney, and Travis Buck. Daisuke had to throw 30 pitches in the first inning. Kurt Suzuki, born in Hawaii and grew up in Redondo Beach, California, stands in, the catcher for the A's in his second season with the Athletics. The center field falling fast and in for a base hit. So the second A's hit. Lead runner on here for Oakland in the second.
Pretty decent first season for Suzuki last year in an Oakland uniform. Taking over for Jason Kendall. Jumps on that first fastball from Matsuzaka and picks up the base hit.
There's Ryan Sweeney, the center fielder. Battle has been going on for the center field spot for the A's. Kotze no longer with the club, and of course Nick Swisher. We've seen some time in center field also, at first base, right field, now member of the Chicago White Sox.
And that's why Sweeney is here. He's part of that deal.
Sweeney hit a .308 during the spring. Sends one in foul ground. Mike Lowell giving chase. And that'll get back into the seats. You see the high netting here. One of the differences here at the Tokyo Dome. As Bob Guerin, the manager of the A's in his second season, as a look around as they get the high screen here from pole to pole down the right and left field line. So if you're sitting in the first few rows here at the Tokyo Dome, you're really not in danger. As one of the neat things they have here in Tokyo, the screening. Fans getting autographs really have to go to the outfield, and much like at McCoy Stadium in Pawtucket, they fish for autographs using the long string. There's a high fly ball to right field off the bat of Sweeney. Over is Moss. Ran it back a few steps to reel it in for out number 1.
You know, we mentioned, Don, that this ballpark has a similar roof to the Metrodome in Minnesota, but yet in the games I've seen, the 2 exhibition games, even the ones that the A's played, I haven't seen anybody lose the ball yet.
It's out here during the day, and that's always been the biggest problem with the Metrodome is the day games. That you see the little baseballs up there, there's no doubt about that, but I think the roof is a little bit off-white. It's not quite as white as the Metrodome. The Metrodome's really white. And this is a little bit easier for players. Nobody has lost a ball in the roof, at least in the games we've seen here so far. See, it's a little bit darker. One away in the second. Suzuki still at first, and here's Travis Buck.
Tell you one thing, these A's can throw some left-handed hitters at you.
Buck, another one who grounded out to second base first time up. It his major league debut last year at the age of 23 in his 3rd professional season. And a series of injuries that limited him to just 82 games. Ended up with a .288 batting average. But in and out of the lineup, never started more than 7 consecutive games last year. Ranked near the top in a lot of American League rookie categories. Second in slugging, second in triples, had 5 triples a year ago. In the hands that time, and he fouls it back to the screen.
The surprising thing about Buck leading off, the fact he only walked 39 times a year ago. They really don't have a leadoff hitter.
0-2 to Travis Buck with Suzuki at first and one down. And the dirt gathered by Varitek. No advance for Suzuki, who took an extra look. On it in, and it's 2-2 now to Buck.
You know, one of the things they wanted Daisuke to work on this spring is first pitch strikes. You know, last year he got himself in situations where he had high pitch counts very early in the game, very similar to what's going on here tonight.
Well, 30 pitches thrown in the first inning for Daisuke. Missing inside that time, and it's a full count.
Now we'll see if they have Suzuki going at first base on the 3-2 count.
There he goes on the 3-2. It's a swing and a miss. The throw is high, and in to second base is Kurt Suzuki. Well, the strikeout of Buck is the second strikeout for Daisuke. 2 down.
Yeah, just a bad throw there by Varitek. Almost looked like it slipped out of his hand a little bit. He's going to get Buck to chase a high fastball. And it looked like Jason had a little trouble getting that ball out of his glove to get a clean grip on it, because that ball just sailed very high at second base.
So 2 down. Suzuki in scoring position now for the A's. And it brings up Mark Ellis with a home run in the first inning. Daisuke last year in his inaugural season in Boston allowed 25 home runs in his 204 2/3 innings pitched. They're giving up his first home run to second batter that he faces in 2008. This after the 0-1 cranks it foul, and it's 0-2.
This is quite different than when you have a Japanese team playing, where when the Japanese team is hitting, they're just up singing and chanting the whole half inning. Other than that, I found the crowds here to be very quiet and very reserved.
He's going the other way down the right field line. That one bending towards the corner and ends up foul. We saw the Hanshin Tigers here and the Yomiuri Giants, who call this home, the Tokyo Dome. Giants kind of comparable to the Yankees in the United States as far as the number of championships that they have won. The former team of Hideki Okajima, who was wildly received here in an exhibition game over the weekend. Standing ovations, as you might imagine. They're right out there in left field is where all the action primarily takes place. They're out there singing, and it's like a college band out there for the most part when they bat. But when the team's in the field, they're very quiet. Mark Ellis has always feasted on Red Sox pitching, a .323 hitter against the Red Sox. Last year having an outstanding season, .276 average, 19 homers, 76 RBIs, and 115 games, setting an Athletics franchise record for home runs by a second baseman. Hops it up, back and out of play. Varitek giving chase, but that'll get back into the seats. A little bit of foul ground here. Well, that one finds its way back into the crowd.
Yeah, not quite as much as the Coliseum in Oakland, but for a dome, there is a lot of foul territory.
A lot of space in behind home plate and down the first and third base lines. Two down here in the second inning. Suzuki at second base. And this one in the dirt, gathered by Baratek. No advance for Suzuki, who makes his way back to second.
Something interesting in the pregame show. Ken Maka, who played here in Japan, and talking about, you know, those batting cages where the pitchers warm up prior to the game. Daisuke again in the dirt. Nice block by Baratek. But they don't even announce their starting pitcher. So if you try to make a lineup up on the other side, you can't really do so.
A little bit of deception. You never know who's going to come out of that dugout. So in the dirt outside. One of the other things we saw here over the weekend was the home team, the Japanese team, would have 2 batting cages behind home plate. And they take turns each, but you get more cuts. Guys get a chance to take a little bit longer of a batting practice, but they go side by side. You got balls flying all over the Tokyo Dome during batting practice here.
And in spring training, sometimes they have 3 cages going at once.
Unbelievable. The Red Sox opted not to have the 2-cage setup for batting practice over the weekend. Full count to Ellis. There's ball 4 already. The 3rd walk of the night allowed by Daisuke Matsuzaka.
Well, he clearly is not sharp at all, and I mean that's an understatement here in the first couple of innings. He's missing badly. And quite frankly, he's lucky it's still only a 2-0 ball game.
So 2 down, runners at first and second. Derek Barton, the batter. Barton walked in the first inning, came around to score the second Oakland run. Daisuke starting off ahead.
Trying something different, trying the changeup that time to get ahead of the hitter. Barton hit .347 after coming up to the big leagues last year. You get a lot of lefties too at very similar swings. A lot of guys, big strong guys that have that slight uppercut swing. You think a lot of them would be very vulnerable to high fastballs.
Martin thought about it. Did he go? They'll check no, says Paul Nauer, third base umpire. Suzuki singling to begin the inning, stole second. Sweeney flied out to right. Buck struck out. Mark Ellis walked, 2 on, 2 down. And that one not close.
Again, you know, he throws one good changeup, then he tries to throw another one to the same batter, but not even close. Again, missing by a wide margin. Full count. Runners will be off with a pitch. Actually, that scoreboard is wrong. It's 3-1.
Little chop foul outside of first.
As president of Red Sox Nation, I want you to sign up today to become the ultimate citizen and receive 2 tickets to a selected game. You also get a commemorative World Series citizenship card, exclusive ticket access to events at Fenway Park, MajorLeagueBaseball.com game day audio, and much more. Make your citizenship official today by logging on to RedSoxNation.com. Signed him up today, that guy.
First and second. 2 down on the 3-2. Ball 4. Second walk of the inning. 4th of the outing for Daisuke, and it loads him up for the A's. Farrell to make his first visit to the mound. Second time. Derek Barton has walked.
I mean, nothing looks right tonight for him. His delivery doesn't look right. It looks like his finish through his delivery. He's off balance. John Farrell will try to get the ship straightened out here very quickly before this game gets out of hand.
Opening week baseball on NESN is brought to you in part by Firestone. Well, Daisuke Matsuzaka was in a jam in the first, allowed 2 runs, and a jam here now in the second. The base is loaded and 2 outs, and Jack Cust coming up. Suzuki at third, Ellis at second, Barton at first. Daisuke up to 55 pitches. He threw 30 in the first inning. Jack Cust hit by a pitch in the first. Cust has done well against the Red Sox. Career .308 hitter against Boston. Takes the first pitch strike. And Cust last year, in half of his at-bats, either struck out or walked. Sometimes all or nothing for Cust, who had 26 home runs a year ago. Makes a big swing and misses. It's 0-2.
It really is amazing. 105 walks, 164 strikeouts for Cust. It's a good changeup here from Daisuke to pick up the second strike. That one was down, had a little movement out and away from the left-handed hitter as Julian Tavares loosens in the Red Sox bullpen.
Bases loaded, 2 down here in the second inning. Cust takes a ball as Matsuzaka thought he might have had him, and it's 1-2.
A change up again from Daisuke, but this one a little bit high for Rick Reed behind home plate. You can see Veritrek trying to pull it back down into the strike zone.
This with that big swing sends it foul off to the left, and it's still 1-2. It's truly amazing when you talk about how Red Sox fans travel, but this is taking it to the limit. It's really amazing how many Red Sox fans are here. Of course, Red Sox destinations bring a lot of fans over, but a lot of Red Sox gear, and of course the Red Sox very popular here with Hideki Okajima and Daisuke Matsuzaka on the squad for the second straight year. Strike 3 call. Big strikeout for Daisuke. Third strikeout of the night. The A's leave them loaded, but they lead it 2-0.
Get the Sunday Globe's award-winning sports coverage every week. Call 800-984-5335 today for 50% off home delivery. The Boston Sunday Globe start the week off right.
Well, getting ready for the top half of the third inning back here in Japan. And Jerry, this has been quite an experience so far. Red Sox trying to find their bearings in this game, but this has been quite an experience.
Well, it has been different, Don. There's no question about that. It's as far as we've ever had to travel to do a game. What was it, 18 hours to get here and about 4 days to try to get your body accustomed to this time zone. But it has been an experience that, probably we never would have had unless we were involved somehow in baseball. And it is different, I'll tell you that. It's amazing. And I'll tell you what, it is very expensive.
Very expensive, very clean city. Chance to get around a little bit throughout the city over the last couple of days. And of course, the cab ride over here today is always interesting. The steering wheel's on the other side. We're traveling on the other side of the road.
We're only about, what, 3 miles from the 3 or 4 miles. It took like over 30 minutes to get here. There's a lot of traffic.
Quite an adventure.
It's like the whole city's like Times Square, but clean.
Yeah. But clean.
But clean.
Cabs are clean.
Oh, cabs are unbelievable.
Jacoby Ellsbury leads it off for the Red Sox here in the third inning. Joe Blanton's got a 2-0 advantage for the Oakland Athletics. Ellsbury getting the start in center field. And hitting at .353 in his first season in the majors last year. Sending it foul back to the screen. Jacoby Ellsbury getting the start tonight. And batting eighth. Surprised at all at the location where he's batting in the Red Sox order?
No, not really, Don. We've seen this before from Terry Francona. Young guys, he doesn't want to put too much pressure on them by hitting them up top, regardless of what happened last year in the World Series. He feels very strongly that Pedroia and Youkilis is the top of the order. More experience than Ellsbury. Let him get settled in. Let him relax down at the bottom of the batting order. They got some speed down there between he and Lugo.
Take strike 3 is the first strikeout of the night for Joe Blanton. You mentioned that you did get out of the hotel, from what I understand, to get around a little bit, taking a tour with Naoko Funiyama over the last couple of days. What did you see?
Well, a lot of people. I mean, when you look at this, yeah, we tried to get an air guitar and all that stuff. This guy was great. He really was. He was trying like heck to speak English. And these girls wanted no part of American men or sport, Sox appeal.
They weren't interested in Sox appeal?
None. Zero interest. But you could see by that shot, I mean, very much like Times Square.
Julio Lugo lines it into center field for a base hit. Julio with a wide turn. And a good start to his 2008 season.
Well, the Red Sox have had a base runner in every inning so far in this ball game as Lugo jumps on a Joe Blanton fastball and shoots it up the middle. Same place, similar to Mike Lowell's base hit back in the second inning.
So 1 down, 1 on. It's the third hit for the Red Sox. They've had a hit in every inning. And in the first 2 innings had the lead runner on and could not score. Now a 1-out single for Lugo, and here's Dustin Pedroia.
33 steals last year for Julio Lugo. Only caught 6 times.
Pedroia with a single in the first inning. And was left at second base. Joe Blanton, a 14-game winner last year, 14-10, 34 starts for the Oakland A's. And getting the start on opening day for Oakland. First time he's made an opening day start, third different opening day starter for the A's the last 3 years. 2-1 against the Red Sox with a 3.58 ERA and 5 career starts against Boston.
Now, tomorrow night, the Red Sox get to see Rich Harden, who has had all kind of injury problems. This guy looked to be a very talented young guy, but the injuries have really held him back.
He taps it foul and finds himself down on the count 1-2. Bob Guerin back at the helm for his second season. A different coaching staff as they made a lot of changes here during the offseason to their staff in Bob Guerin's second year. Roy with a big swing and a drive out towards right center field. Ryan Sweeney back to the warning track to make the catch. Just shy of it. And to get it back in, Lugo back to the bag at first with 2 down. Roy got under that.
Well, when you look in the outfield, it's 328 down the lines, but they don't have any numbers for the gaps for center field. So it's really kind of hard to tell how deep it is out there. That ball is hit pretty well and pretty deep by Pedroia, but still plenty of room for Sweeney.
So 2 down, Lugo at first, and here's Kevin Youkilis. Youkilis grounded out to third base back in the first inning. Daisuke Matsuzaka with 58 pitches through the first 2 innings. 2 exhausting innings, and really he's pretty fortunate to just be trailing 2-0, get out of a bases loaded jam with a strikeout of Jack Cuss to end the second inning. Both the A's runs coming in the first. And not the outing, at least to start tonight, that Daisuke Matsuzaka probably imagined having here in his home turf in Japan.
Actually, he's very, very lucky it's only a 2-0 ball game. Could be a lot worse than that.
Well, this Major League Baseball opener in Japan, the first since the Yankees and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Played in front of sellout crowds here at the Tokyo Dome back in 2004. In the past decade, 8 Major League teams, Rockies, Padres, Mets, Cubs, Rangers, Blue Jays, Yankees, and Devil Rays have experienced international openers. And of course, a series of Major League All-Stars have made their way over here from time to time. First opening series, the Cubs and the Mets back in 2000 right here at the Tokyo Dome. 3-1 the count now to Youkilis with 2 outs. And Lugo at first.
That's certainly a guy that Blanton wants to get. He doesn't want to face Ortiz with a couple of men on base.
On the third baseline, a fair ball diving is Hanahan. The long throw is not going to get there in time. Nice bid, though, by Jack Hanahan, back at third, filling in for the Gold Glove third baseman Eric Chavez, and Youkilis able to beat it out.
Well, actually, he may have saved the run. You know, if that ball gets by him and starts rolling down in that left field corner, Lugo may score all the way from first base. He made a heck of a play diving and from foul territory trying to throw out Kevin Youkilis at first base. So, Blanton will have to face David Ortiz with a couple of men on.
So 2 down, runners at first and second. David Ortiz, the batter. Red Sox trailing by 2. As Ortiz takes the strike. As here in Essen, we are taking the main feed from Japanese television NTV. I want to thank them. A couple of cameras of our own here in Japan, but we'd like to thank those at NTV as we take their feed from the Tokyo Dome. Red Sox threatening with 2 down here in the third. Ortiz popped out first time up.
Well, all the flash bulbs that were going off when Matsuzaka made his first pitch, they go off up to every pitch when David Ortiz is at the plate. Hoping for that home run swing.
Ortiz put on an incredible show during batting practice.
My God, did he ever.
He was crushing him up towards the roof down the right field line. Blanton now has been up for the last couple of pitches and not close as Suzuki wants to talk it over.
He hit one in batting practice. We were watching it that hit up off the concrete on top of the stands in right field. You see the flash bulbs I was talking about every time there's a pitch made to Ortiz.
2-1 line into the shift on a hop to Mark Ellis at second base, who ended up being perfectly positioned. And the Red Sox strand the pair. We have played 2.5. It's 2-0 Oakland.
And of course, between innings, Ron Logue, the chairman of State Street, was in the booth with us. Left us a couple of gifts.
Very nice of him. He was talking about the great clinic that they had here yesterday.
Yep.
A lot of the coaches were part of, as well as Hideki Okajima. Neil Brown leads it off here in the last half of the third inning for the A's. And pops it up right side. Youkilis calling and catching out number 1. Look at the clinic yesterday, and Terry Francona, a lot of the coaching staff enjoyed it. Hideki Okajima working with the children here yesterday afternoon at the Tokyo Dome. DeMarlo Hale. The kids had a great time yesterday going through many drills. The Red Sox training staff involved as well. All thanks to State Street, who has really formed a fantastic partnership with the Red Sox.
Doesn't look like your swing, Don.
I think his is a little better, actually. I always had trouble with the tee. I never really got the whole tee thing. I mean, I always hit the tee.
I had trouble with the tee, too.
I didn't like the tee.
You
were a major league player and you had trouble with the tee?
I had trouble with the tee. I threw that out of my whole program. I couldn't make solid contact with the baseball.
I'm glad to know that I am not alone in that department. Bobby Crosby batting with 1 out. Crosby grounded out to third base, first time up. That's certainly one of the issues when you play the earliest ever major league game of any season, is that your pitching really is not ready as far as throwing 100 pitches in an outing. Red Sox try to get their pitchers there a little earlier and speed up their regiment during the spring, but nothing can really replicate this. Right back at Daisuke off the base of the hill, makes a nice play to retire Crosby. 2 down.
Well, much better here in the third inning for Daisuke. It was a breaking ball that Emil Brown popped up, and now he gets inside with the fastball to Crosby, breaks his bat, and gets a little tap right back to the mound. So, I mean, by far, this has been the easiest time Daisuke has had in this game.
So 2 down, and it brings up Jack Hanahan, a strikeout victim his first time up. It seems like Daisuke changed his philosophy so many times last year. I know it keeps guys guessing. He's got so much in his arsenal, different variations to each pitch. And then sometimes get kind of fastball happy last year. We saw from time to time when he'd get behind or would stick with it a lot of the time. But you wonder what his approach will be this year.
See, I don't agree with that. I didn't think he threw enough fastballs
You
last
thought
year.
he should throw more?
I thought he should have thrown more. You know, he got cut fastball crazy there for a long time. And it just seemed to me that, you know, he has a good fastball. I just didn't see it enough.
John Farrell was talking during the spring about relying on it too much in his estimation. Thought that his other pitches did not use in some situations because he can throw them for strikes.
Well, I thought the one pitch he didn't use enough was his changeup. That's that cutter right there that picks up the outside corner. Veritek wants it away. That's exactly where he gets it. So Daisuke much sharper here in the third inning.
So 2 quick outs. A count of 2-2 to Jack Hanahan. Up and away and not close. A full count now to Hanahan.
It was interesting when we landed at the airport, what, 5 days ago. I mean, all the Japanese media just waiting for Daisuke and the rest of the players, but mostly for Daisuke to get off that plane, and they followed him all the way to the bus.
Two is carved foul. Looked like for a little while that perhaps Daisuke would not make the trip here to Japan, which would have been very strange if he had not been here. Of course, the Red Sox coming to Japan to open the season, and all the hoopla revolving around Daisuke's return, but that was all for naught as his wife gave birth to a son before the Red Sox left here for Japan. So all the questions that led up to that were gone, and here's Daisuke as he now walks Hanahan. There's walk number 5 allowed by Matsuzaka.
That's going to be interesting reaction when he is taken out of this game, and it's going to be early tonight because the pitch count is so high. These fans here in Japan are not used to that. Even if he struggles, they expect him to go deep into the ball game in 9 innings. But you see the frustration on the face of Matsuzaka.
So 2 down, Hanahan at first base. Kurt Suzuki, the batter, has singled and stole a base in his first at bat in the second inning. .68 games with the A's, hitting at .249, 7 home runs, and 39 runs batted in a year ago. His first year with the A's. Suzuki was backing up Jason Kendall before starting 56 of the final 70 games of the year. And Kendall was traded away. Now lines one. Nice backhanded grab by Lugo. The end of the year had to elevate to make the grab, but he does so to end the third. It's 2-0 Oakland at the end of 3.
Covidien is a proud sponsor of the Boston Red Sox and the Red Sox Foundation, helping to raise money for life-saving cancer research.
Jerry, we want to thank Ron Logue, who came by, we mentioned, from State Street. He gave us some gifts. Happy coats. And they're red, of course, for the Red Sox. Kind of form-fitting. I'm feeling kind of snug, but it's very nice, don't you think? Patterns at bottom.
You look very happy.
Huh? It's a happy coat. How about that? Huh?
I got a tattoo on my back bigger than that.
Very snug, though. I don't know what's going on there.
Jaboila.
That's the key. But I like it. Gonna wear it around the hotel when I get back. Danny Ramirez leads it off in the fourth. Almost gets hit with the first pitch. And he fouled out to Travis Buck in the first inning. It'll be Ramirez, Lowell, and Moss in the fourth inning.
Well, the Red Sox actually out hitting the A's in this ball game 4-2, but have not yet put a run on the board.
Red Sox leaving 2 men on in the third. The key matchup is brought to you by Acura. He has worn out Joe Blanton, 8 for 13. 0 for 1 so far here tonight. Red Sox left a runner in scoring position in the first. With 2 on in the third. Drives one out to right. Travis Buck with room in right pulls it in for out number 1.
One thing I've noticed in the games, it seems like every time a Red Sox player or a so-called power hitter puts a ball in the air, the crowd thinks it's going to be a home run. I mean, that ball got in Manny's kitchen and wasn't hit that deep at all, but it sounded like from the fans, oh, there goes the home run.
Well, Manny has flied out to the right fielder Travis Buck twice. One down for Mike Lowell, who singled into center field his first time up. Now, one thing playing the exhibition games, and as the days have passed here since the Red Sox arrived in their long flight from the United States, it started in Fort Myers, went through Chicago, and then some 12.5 hours from Chicago here. Kind of get acclimated a little bit better every day. And talking to a lot of players, the sleep getting a little easier, and first couple of days waking up around 3 a.m. and not being able to go back to sleep seems to be improving day by day. And probably the best they have felt the entire trip would be tonight, this opening game for the Red Sox.
That's funny, you know, you try all kind of different things, you hear all kind of theories on how to make the adjustment, but you know, your body tells you, hey, I'm not listening to any of that. I'm going to do what I want to do. And if I want to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to get you up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Actually, in some ways, it's better as a player because at least you're doing something. You're moving around. You're active. You're playing some games.
A little tougher on the announcers.
That's right, who had nothing to do.
Nothing. 3-2 to Lowell. Fly ball center field. Ryan Sweeney is back there.
See what I mean about the crowd?
And there's 2 down. Everything in the air. Well, it's time now for our Aflac trivia question. Our question is, who was the last Red Sox pitcher to start at opening day in his second Major League season? I'll have the answer for you a little bit later. 2 down in the top half of the fourth inning. 2 fly ball outs, and Brandon Moss standing in for Boston. Moss reaching on a fielder's choice his first time up. On the first base line this time, handled by Barton, who tagged the bag. It's a 1-2-3-4 for Joe Blanton. 3.5 in the books with the A's on top 2-0.
Last night I shared my season predictions on the preseason edition of the Remy Awards presented by Dick Trophy. If you missed it, you can catch the encore presentation tonight at 6:30. Hear my thoughts on the upcoming 2008 season on the Remy Awards, an original Nesson Entertainment special.
Well, we head to the last half of the fourth inning with the A's on top 2-0. Daisuke Matsuzaka back on the mound again. Ryan Sweeney fly to right first time up. And with Daisuke pitching, there is action in the Red Sox pen. As Kyle Snyder has begun to warm for the Red Sox. Julian Tavares had been up last inning, but now it's Snyder. Of course, had been stretched out as a starter for the Red Sox during the spring, so he's a guy who can go long for you. Sweeney, Buck, and Ellis expected here for the A's in the fourth inning. Fly ball to left field. Manny Ramirez over a few steps makes the catch for out number one. Terry Francona and the Red Sox opening up their 2008 season here tonight in Japan.
Been a busy guy since landing here in Japan. You know, the Red Sox have had a lot of things to do besides play those exhibition games. There's been a lot of functions they've had to attend.
One down for Travis Buck, who is 0 for 2, the top spot in the Oakland A's order. The pitching line is brought to you by Nissan. Daisuke in 3 1/3 innings. Giving up the 2 runs in the first inning. First home run for Mark Ellis. And a ground out by Crosby that produced the second Oakland run. Big swing and a miss for Travis Buck.
I told you earlier about that uppercut swing for Travis Buck. That was a cut fastball about letter high and no contact by Buck.
Buck strikes out. There's the 4th strikeout for Matsuzaka. He's now starting to find his bearings. 2 down.
Yeah, he is, after a couple of very rough innings. The first 2, the last 2 have been much better. He did have the walk in the 3rd. The problem is the pitch count's building, so as he improves, he may have to leave the game.
So 2 down. He's now retired 5 out of the last 6 batters. And here's Mark Ellis, who is yet to retire in the game. Ellis homered in the first, walked in the second.
Here's another good pitch for Matsuzaka, that curveball that, you know, we just don't see a lot of. Thrown only a couple of them in this game today, but this is a very good one.
On the ground by the mound, Pedroia stepped to his right. Daisuke enjoys his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. Red Sox trail 2-0 at the end of 4.
Sox game that goes into extra innings, or the Red Sox record a save. CVS Pharmacy will donate $500 to Children's Hospital Boston. CVS Pharmacy is the official pharmacy of the Boston Red Sox.
Well, it's Jason Varitek, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Julio Lugo to bat in the top half of the 5th inning. You look out towards left field here at the Tokyo Dome.
Now, what time is it back home? It's about, what, 7:30 back home,
Yep.
right?
Correct.
How about Tom Caron? 5 o'clock pregame show.
Along with Ken Maka and Jim Rice. Of course, Ken Maka played here in Japan. And former Oakland A's managers. Joe Blanton gets ready here to face Jason Varitek.
We should probably try this during the regular season. Have 6 o'clock starts on getaway day at home.
Give you a nice jump.
Then get next town by 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Be great.
Wouldn't be too bad. Roll out of the bed around 3 a.m. Everybody tells us it's going to be worse when we arrive in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Chop foul outside of first. It's only about 9.5 hours back to LA here from Japan, which the Red Sox will do after tomorrow's game. And the 3 games against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Next one we'll have will be on the Saturday against the Dodgers at the Coliseum in front of better than 100,000 fans. Swing and a miss. Veritek strikes out, and there's the second K for Joe Blanton.
Joe Blanton has been very, very good in this ball game today. There's the slider he goes with. You see the rotation on the baseball. Veritek, that ball down and in, no contact. And Blanton's been excellent. I mean, 4 hits, but all hits have been singles. He has not been in any trouble at all at any point in this game.
Retired 5 batters in a row, and he's about to deal with Jacoby Ellsbury, who struck out looking. It's his other strikeout. Ellsbury appearing in 11 postseason games for the Red Sox, including the start in each of Boston's final 6 games. Hit at .360. 4 doubles, all coming in the World Series. As he pops it up foul, backing out of play. Most doubles ever in a single World Series by a rookie. All 6 of his starts came in center field in the postseason. Also saw action in both corner outfield positions during the playoffs. It was 6 for 9, games 3 and 4 in the World Series against the Rockies. Bats with 1 down, bases empty here in the top of the 5th. Red Sox have stranded 3 men in the first 4 innings. Ellsbury shoots it foul, and it's 1-2. One of the bigger stories heading into spring training, who would start the year in center field for the Red Sox, as the battle taking place during the spring did not really include Coco Crisp due to the injuries that he was battling throughout spring. Both groins were a problem. Started to feel more healthy towards the end of spring. A couple of starts for Coco. I think there were those that thought perhaps by the end of spring that Coco Crisp would not be on the team and perhaps traded away, but here he is still with the Red Sox at the moment.
It's not the end of the spring. We've still got 3 more spring training games to play. They get a start here tomorrow night. We'll see. That's the strange part about this. I mean, you get going for real here, the games that count, and then you play 3 that mean nothing.
And the Red Sox and A's will get again together on the 1st of April in Oakland. 4-2, the 1st and 2nd, for the Red Sox have an off day traveling to Toronto. The A's are the home team here in this series against the Red Sox. As it's fouled back to the screen, Ellsbury with a lengthy at bat against Blanton.
Yeah, the Red Sox are going to be in these road graves for a long time. The 2 exhibition games here, the 2 regular season games, 3 more exhibition games in LA where they will be able to use the DH. The road trip up to Oakland, and then of course Toronto before returning home and put on the white uniforms at Fenway Park.
We're talking about all the events the Red Sox have been through here since being in Japan. Terry Francona, many of the Red Sox at the U.S. Embassy today. Terry said that he was offered wine about 6 times during the day today and thought it probably wasn't a good idea prior to the opener tonight. As many of the Red Sox made the trip to the embassy. This one right side, and Barton will need help. Blanton is there. And there's 2 down in the inning. Let's check out the answer from our Aflac trivia question. That was the last Red Sox pitcher to start on opening day in his 2nd Major League season, as Daisuke is tonight. Don Schwal is the answer. 1962. The Sox lost 4-0 to the Cleveland Indians. It was the only opening day start for Schwal with the Red Sox, starting in his 2nd season as Daisuke starts here tonight. 2 down in the top of the 5th. And it brings up Julio Lugo, singled into center field first time up. Red Sox with 4 hits. Popped up foul. That'll get back and out of play.
You might notice, or you may have heard, that every time there's a foul ball, they blow a whistle to notify the fans that there is a foul ball heading up into the stands.
They do a great deal to protect the fans from foul balls here, along with the screenage. We showed you that it's high down the left and right field lines. The seats in the box, the fans in the box seats. Softly grounded out towards Crosby. Throws out Lugo. The Red Sox are down an order in the 5th. Halfway through this one, the A's on top 2-0. State Street, proud sponsor of Red Sox Go Global on Nesson, provides the world's institutional investors with the tools that help them succeed. Look at the concourse here, the Tokyo Dome. Jerry and I had the chance to test some of that concourse food here tonight. In Japan, a lot of sushi available, as you might imagine.
Obviously, there's a little bit of a language barrier, but they have these, you can point to what you want. They have these little menus, you point to it, and then they give you the food. So
pictures are very helpful. Derek Barton leading it off for the A's here in the 5th. Barton has walked twice. Daisuke has walked 5. Last year, season high 6 walks in the game for Daisuke, but tonight 5. He has struck out 4, coming off his best inning of the game, and he retired the side in order in the 4th, and he's now retired 6 of the last 7 batters. Everything has just sort of come together for Daisuke over the last couple of innings. After nothing seemed to work for him through the first 2. Swing and a miss. Barton strikes out 5 Ks for Daisuke.
Now they're getting to see the Daisuke that they know here in Japan. You have to wonder, Don, when you watch those first couple of innings as we see the cut fastball for the strikeout, whether nerves were involved with him. I mean, he's only human. And this is a big stage for him to come back and pitch on. And he was just all over the place the first couple of innings. He has settled down nicely and now looks more like Daisuke.
One down in the 5th, and it brings up Jack Cust. Cust hit by a pitch in the 1st and then struck out looking in the 2nd inning.
That might be one of the better fastballs he's thrown tonight, velocity wise. The gun here reading at 90 miles an hour. I think the gun might be a little bit slow.
It drops out of sight. It's 1-2.
You can see the fans also sensing that Matsuzaka now looks more like himself as they're getting more into more every strike that he throws.
Tired 5 in a row ahead here of Jack Cust, 1-2. Just off the outside edge.
Again, a close pitch that Daisuke does not get. Looks like he might have had the outside corner with this fastball. Does Veritek move the glove? Not at all. Again, I thought that was a pretty good pitch.
Swing and a miss.
Good change up there.
6 strikeouts now for Daisuke back to back. He's feeling it right now as he's retired 6 in a row.
Sure is. And again, you know, he missed with the fastball I thought was a strike. He comes back with a changeup. And again, a very good changeup. The second time he has struck Cuss out, once on a fastball and this time on the off-speed pitch.
2 down here in the 5th inning brings up Emil Brown. Brown walked in the 1st inning, popped out to the first baseman in the 3rd. Red Sox saw Emil Brown on opening day last year as well. Red Sox opened up at Kansas City. He was a member of the Royals last year. Red Sox lost 7-1. to the Kansas City Royals. The first game of the season as Kurt Schilling was matched up against Gil Mesh. Back to Matsuzaka, the fourth different opening day starter for the Red Sox in the last 5 years. Sharply hit, but on a hop to Lowell at third base. Throws out Brown. Daisuke Matsuzaka will hear it at the Tokyo Dome as he makes his way off. A's on top 2-0.
Tonight at 5:30, don't miss the Globe 10.0 presented by Verizon. Bob Ryan will be joined by Jackie McMullen to talk about the 10 hottest topics of the day, including college hoops, Japanese baseball, and the Bees playoff run and more. Join them tonight at 5:30 and get the point.
Top half of the 6th inning where the Oakland A's on top 2-0. And it's the top of the Red Sox order to get it started as Dustin Pedroia will be followed by Kevin Youkilis and David Ortiz in the 6th. As Joe Blanton has settled in, much like Daisuke Matsuzaka has through the middle innings. Blanton has now retired the last 7 Red Sox that he's faced. And Pedroia will get his 3rd look at Blanton after singling in the 1st and flying out to center field in the 3rd. Grounding and foul outside of 3rd. Daisuke Matsuzaka through the first 5 innings.
It's kind of odd, wasn't it? Francona following him down the runway. You wonder if Francona may have told him his night's over. What is his pitch count at? It's got to be up there.
Well, he had thrown 58 through the first 2 innings. He's certainly thrown much less since then. But it was very high very early.
And of course, Daisuke himself feeling better right now than he has all night long and probably wants to continue to pitch. So
95 pitches to answer your question as Buck goes back and can't make the catch. Headed for second is Pedroia, and he will get there. Travis Buck making a bid in right, but Pedroia reaches with a double to begin things here in the 6th.
Now Pedroia hitting a long way to the opposite field, chasing Buck back to that wall. For a while, it looked like it was a ball that Buck was going to make a play on.
Well, to answer your question, 95 pitches for Daisuke.
I mean, that's higher, I think, than they wanted him in this ball game.
So Pedroia at second base. Nobody out here to begin things in the 6th. Kevin Youkilis 1 for 2 tonight. Reached on an infield hit in the 3rd after grounding out back in the 1st inning. Kurt Suzuki is going to head out and talk to Joe Blanton.
They got to get square on those signs. The man at second base. There have been many guys out there tonight for the Red Sox. Well, Red Sox fans, remember that if you need medical care while at Fenway, visit the Beth Israel Deaconess First Aid Stand behind Section 12. Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center is the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox and Red Sox Nation.
Youkilis taking ball 1 inside. Again inside, it's 2-0. The Red Sox have had a tough time against the A's. They have lost 8 of their last 12 games against Oakland since 2006, and the 2 teams will play 10 times this season. Ball 3 to Youkilis. Ball 4. Blanton staring in. I don't know if that was down. First walk that Joe Blanton has allowed. So first and second, nobody out. Here's Big Poppy. It was popped out to third, grounded out to second base. This one bounces in, smothered by Suzuki.
Now this is the best chance the Red Sox have had all night. The first couple of guys on, a double walk, and Blanton looks like he may be coming unglued a little bit.
Kurt Young, the only returning coach on the staff for Bob Guerin, headed out to talk to Joe Blanton. Blanton had retired 7 batters in a row, and 9 of the last 10 coming into this inning. A leadoff double by Pedroia. Euclid has walked on 4 pitches. First and second, nobody out. Keep in mind, Joe Blanton had 9 starts last year without a walk. He never walked more than 3. But a walk here in this inning, the first of the night for the right-hander. Another ball to Ortiz, 2-0. Ortiz after the 2-0 fouls it off to the left.
Well, you got to credit Blanton there. Chio County came right after Ortiz with that fastball, and David a little bit late on it. Ortiz expecting fastball 2-0. He gets the fastball, but he's a little tardy.
Ortiz grounds it foul, and it's 2-2. Left-handers against Blanton last year, hitting at .291. That allowed 16 home runs, 14 of the 16 for right-handed batters, and there's a right-handed batter waiting on deck. Pedroia at second, Euclid at first, Ortiz backs out, Blanton steps off, and Suzuki's going to head out and talk with him. Brief meeting that took place about halfway to the mound. Two and two to David Ortiz. Had the full shift on for Ortiz, who grounded into it last time up. This time with runners at first and second, a little more normal. Ball 3 to David. The center fielder Ryan Sweeney a few steps into right center. Big gap out in left center. Ortiz chops it foul. Will do it again with a full count.
Like a 3-2 changeup from Joe Blanton that had Ortiz off balance and very lucky to make contact.
David pops it up, foul ground. Hanahan over towards the seats, and Hanahan will make the catch. Told you about the large amount of foul ground here, and Hanahan stayed with it the entire way. It's the only area where the boxes kind of jet out a few rows, but he makes the grab, and Ortiz is 0 for 3 tonight.
I'll tell you what, you got to give some credit here to Joe Blanton. I mean, that's pretty impressive. He, on a 3-2 pitch, throws a changeup that Ortiz just fouls off. Then he comes back with the fastball. Ortiz really doesn't know what to look for in that 3-2 count after getting a changeup, and of course the pop-up with all that foul territory. A real battle there put on by Joe Blanton.
So first and second, one down, and Manny Ramirez, who's used the right fielder twice tonight. Travis Buck is 0 for 2, fouling out to Buck in the first and flying out to the right fielder in the fourth. Line drive, base hit by the dive of Hanahan. Around from second base comes Pedroia. Behind him is Euclid. He's going to try and score. Throw to the plate is not going to be in time, and the Red Sox tie the score 2-2. Manny Ramirez drives in the game-tying runs.
Now Manny just turns that fastball around from Joe Blanton and pulls him right down the line. First 2 at bats, Manny was a little bit late going to the opposite field. This time he quickens the swing up a little bit on a fastball and shoots it right down that third base line. Fastball inside. Manning gets the head of the bat out after being late his first 2 times up. Not late that time.
Now Mike Lowell takes ball 1 outside.
That ball down and in, and Ramirez barrel of the bat out and right down the third base line. He knows he's got himself a couple of RBI after that.
RBIs down last year, 88 for Manny. It's his first 2 of 2008, and the process ties the game 2-2. Oh, the single tonight back in the second inning, 1 for 2. Hold on that pitch, and it's 2-1. Pops it up foul. League leaders are brought to you by Olympia Sports, official sporting goods retailer, the New England Sports Network. 4th the American League. Right-handed batters with 87. Looking it up with 120 RBIs to lead the Red Sox last season. And he carves it foul off to the right, 2-2. Ortiz finished with 117 last year. Manny Ramirez with 88. And Mike Lowell far and away the most. Full count to Lowell. Brandon Moss waits on deck. Still 1 out here in the 6th. Swing and a miss. Blanton comes back to strike out Lowell. His 3rd K. Couldn't have come at a better time for Blanton. 2 down.
Yeah, and he's throwing those changeups too, and Red Sox hitters are certainly not expecting him. A changeup again to pick up the strikeout. Red Sox know that his best pitch is his changeup and his breaking ball, and those are his out pitches.
So 2 down, a chance for Brandon Moss. This reached on a fielder's choice in the 2nd, grounded out to the first baseman in the 4th. Unexpected start for Brandon Moss on opening day. J.D. Drew going down with a stiff back. Now it's just prior to the start of the game. Moss to the ground ball base hit into right. Ramirez coming around from second base. The throw from Buck is up the line. And he scores, and up to second base goes Moss. So on a day when Brandon Moss was not expected to start, he has put the Red Sox on top 3-2.
And a bad throw there by Travis Buck. He really had no chance to get Manny scoring. The ball is over the head of the cutoff man, and that allows Moss to get into scoring position with 2 outs. So Daisuke has a chance now, as bad as he was in the first couple of innings, to come out of this game with a win. There's that top spin ground ball. Now watch the throw here by Travis Buck. Not a good one. Over the head of the cutoff man. Has to be taken by the catcher Suzuki. And Daisuke likes all of that.
Well, Brandon Moss, as Bob Guerin makes his way to the mound. With 2 outs here, a 2-out RBI to put the Red Sox on top and to send Joe Blanton out of the game. Blanton had stymied the Red Sox through the first 5 innings. It gives up 3 runs so far here in the 6th. The pitching change from the Tokyo Dome with the Red Sox now on top. Midst to the top of the 6th inning, where the Red Sox have taken a 3-2 lead. First a 2-run double by Manny Ramirez, and more recently the RBI single by Moss, who took second on the throw to put the Red Sox on top. A guy who got a ton of appearances last year for the A's, including closing some games for Oakland. Alan Embry into the game.
Yeah, he did. He had 17 saves last year for the Oakland Athletics when Houston Street was not available to pitch. 68 appearances, a record of 1-2, and a 3.97 ERA.
He comes into a situation here with 2 outs in the 6th. Brandon Moss at second base, and Jason Varitek getting his third at bat of the night. The Red Sox captain has grounded into a double play and struck out swinging in 2 at bats. And Embry calling out Suzuki. Well, Joe Blanton 5 2/3 innings, surrendering 7 hits, so far 3 runs. He's not given up a run through the first 5, but the Red Sox getting to him quickly for 3. Walked 1, struck out 3. Now Embry's ready. And it's strike 1 to Jason Varitek. Alan Embry, the oldest member of the Oakland A's, 38 years old. His 15th season now in the majors. This one fouled back to the screen.
Kind of rare during, well, you never see it actually, with both teams staying in the same hotel on the road. And of course, a lot of times you'll be walking around and run into some of the Oakland Athletics.
Varitek thought about it, didn't offer. It's a ball 1 and 2.
As Blanton was leaving the mound after being taken out, he had a few words with Rick Reed, the home plate umpire, about a couple of questionable calls that did not go his way. That a very close pitch by Embry.
So is that, and it's 2 and 2.
In either one of these last 2 pitches, Varitek could be back in the dugout. Apparently called for being too low.
Too low that time for sure, and it's a full count. Embry's been operating in the 93-mile-per-hour range. Brandon Moss at second base, 2 down here in the 6th. Varitek pops it up foul, backing out of play. Well, for Embry, his 2nd season with Oakland after he left the Red Sox back in 2005, time of the New York Yankees. And spending all of 2006 as a member of the San Diego Padres. Varitek foul tips it into the catcher's mitt and strikes out. So the Red Sox come up with 3 runs in the top of the 6th inning. Brandon Moss has put them on top. Well, after 5 innings, Daisuke Matsuzaka departs with the lead. And the new pitcher on for the Red Sox. We head to the last half of the 6th inning. There's Kyle Snyder.
Snyder, 46 appearances a year ago, a 2-3 record. All those appearances out of the bullpen for the Red Sox. 45 hits in 54 1/3 innings. So Daisuke, amazing. What a crazy performance this was. I mean, terrible in the first couple of innings. Gave up a couple of runs. But you look at the board, only 2 hits allowed, of course, one of those being the home run. And he was very good the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And now has a chance to pick up a W.
Very fortunate to have gotten out of that 2nd inning as he got out of a bases loaded situation by striking out Jack Cust. And then seemed to really settle down, as you mentioned, especially over the last 2 innings. He retired the last 7 batters he faced. So 5 innings, 2 hits, the 2 runs, including the home run by Mark Ellis. He walked 5, which created a lot of his own problems, and then struck out 6. A swing and a miss for Bobby Crosby, who's 0 for 2 so far in the contest.
Back-to-back changeups for Snyder to start off Crosby.
Crosby is grounded out twice tonight. high chopper back up the middle. It finds its way into center field. Let's check in with Naoko Funiyama. Naoko?
Hey guys, this is the perfect place to be for the Red Sox to get the go-ahead run. I'm just surrounded by Red Sox fans who are part of the destination tour. We got Bill here, we got Janet here. They're from Massachusetts. We also have some visitors from New Hampshire. What has this trip been like for you guys? It's pretty wild being in Tokyo, Japan.
It's just wonderful. It's our first trip here, and we're just avid Red Sox fans, and we just couldn't miss the opportunity to come.
Now, why did you decide to do this particular tour?
Well, we wanted to do something totally absurd, and this was it. We had the time, and we love it here, and we just wanted to come.
So what do you think so far? I mean, this is quite a different atmosphere than
It's just fabulous, and the Japanese have been wonderful hosts. It's been great fun.
All right, well, enjoy the rest of your trip. Guys, back to you.
All right, Naoko, thank you very much. We've seen a lot of the Red Sox fans that have made their way from New England here to Tokyo. A lot of them staying in our hotel as well. And they have been enjoying a lot of different activities as well. Of course, coming out here for the exhibition games. But that is a little bit different, making the trip out here for sure.
Now, the thing that got me is they showed up about, I think, 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a couple of days ago when they had an exhibition game. They probably got to their rooms about 4 o'clock, then get back on the bus to come to watch the game. I mean, I'd have been in bed trying to sleep.
Deep drive to right field for Jack Hanahan, sending Moss back, and that's gone. Bomb to right as the Oakland A's have answered quickly after the Red Sox have pulled ahead 3-2. The Oakland A's grab the lead right back from Kyle Snyder.
Well, that didn't last very long. 2 batters in. A base hit by Crosby up the middle, and then Hanahan picking up his first home run of the season.
3 of them last year. And a 2-run shot this time, the second home run of the night off Red Sox pitching. Well, Kyle Snyder, who had been stretched out as a starting pitcher during the spring, is up a single and a home run very quickly here in the 6th inning, and it brings up Kurt Suzuki, the Oakland catcher.
Again, you see Veritek set up away. You see the baseball on the inside part of the plate. A perfect spot for a left-handed hitter. Slight uppercut swing, and the 2-run home run.
Suzuki with a bunt bid. Did he offer? Yes, he did. Says Hunter Wendelstedt, the first base umpire.
So that quickly, Daisuke will not pick up a win in this first game.
That one tipped foul and held on to by Jason Veritek. So the strikeout for Snyder. We'll look at the home run.
And when you're throwing a fastball thigh high to a left-handed hitter, and the left-handed hitter's got some power, that's a pretty good pitch for him to hit.
One down on the 6th. Ryan Sweeney, the batter. Broken bat grounder. Pedroia on to first, and there's 2 down. Jack Hanahan starting in the place of Eric Chavez. Mentioned 3 home runs last year, his first in 2008.
It's amazing how many times missed locations get crushed, and there was a great example. You saw Veritek set up away. They wanted that fastball away. It stayed inside, and Hanahan jumped all over it.
So 2 down, bases empty. Travis Buck, the batter, is 0 for 3. Grounded out in the first and struck out in the second, and again in the 4th. 3 at bats previously against Daisuke Matsuzaka. Get a no decision in tonight's contest. Well, Kyle Snyder appeared in 46 games last year, allowed runs in just 18 of 46 outings. Touched here and a 2-run home run by Jack Hanahan.
It's amazing, Don. You know, when you look at those first couple of innings, and if you have Daisuke throw maybe 10 to 15 less pitches, he's probably working here into the 6th inning when he was pitching very well. Then you're in Okajima and Del Carmen territory before Papelbon. Instead, you know, you're out of there after 5 because of the high pitch count, and you get Snyder in the ball game. If you had one more inning out of Daisuke at a lower pitch count, if you had easy first couple of innings, he'd still be in the ball game. And that bridge to Papelbon would have been smaller.
Buck pops it up, sending Pedroia back a few steps. And Snyder calms down after a tough start to the inning and a 2-run home run by Jack Hanahan. Put Oakland on top 4-3.
Post-game show that I'm sure the crew back there has ever done. You got to work by noontime.
It's pretty tough to do even on Patriots Day in years past. As Jacoby Ellsbury leads it off for the Red Sox here in the 7th, now trailing by a run. As Ellsbury is 0 for 2. Having struck out in the 3rd and grounded out to first base in the 5th. It's Ellsbury, Lugo, and Pedroia here in the top of the 7th. Alan Embry will get the strikeout that ended the 6th inning against Jason Varitek. The 0-1 misses, and it's a ball and a strike now to Ellsbury. Joe Bland, the starter, no longer on the hook for the Oakland A's. As he had gone 5 2/3, giving up 3 runs, all those runs coming last inning, which at the time gave the Red Sox a 3-2 advantage. The Oakland A's with a couple of home runs in the game. The solo shot by Mark Ellis in the 1st inning. More recently, the 2-run shot by Jack Hanahan to again give them the lead.
That has not been the power of the Red Sox tonight. It's been the power of the Athletics.
Ellsbury lines one into left center field, a base hit. Over to cut it off is Brown. Ellsbury with the leadoff single to begin the top of the 7th inning. His first hit of 2008.
Ellsbury hanging tough against the left-handed Embry. Front foot does bail a little bit, but he's able to put that ball in the line up over the head of Bobby Crosby for the base hit.
So lead runner on for the Red Sox for the 4th time in the first 7 innings of this one. Here's Julio Lugo. Lugo singled in the 3rd, grounded out to shortstop in the 5th. Lugo last year at .237 his first season with the Red Sox, 8 homers and 73 runs batted in. Grounded towards second. Ellis to second for 1, on to first. Double play right at Mark Ellis, who starts the double play quickly. 2 down now in the 7th.
Terry Francona electing not to bunt to that potential tying run at second base with his number 9 hitter in Lugo. This is kind of an easy double play because it's got the second baseman going toward the bag. Nice little underhand flip, and that makes it much easier to double up a guy like Lugo who has good speed.
Second double play turned by the A's. So negates the leadoff single for Jacoby Ellsbury. 2 down in the 7th. And here's Justin Pedroia. It was his double that got it started in the 6th inning for the Red Sox. Came around to score the first run for Boston. A 3-run 6th inning. Roy had 2 hits tonight. He singled back in the 1st inning.
One name in this bullpen for the Athletics, Keith Folk, who has come back out of a year off and made this Athletics team. Didn't have a very good spring, but still part of the ball club.
This one grounded back to Embry. He's quickly off the mound. Throws out Pedroia. And the Red Sox are gone in the seventh. Seventh inning stretch time from the Tokyo Dome. A's on top 4-3. It's on to the last half of the seventh inning. Mark Ellis, Derek Barton, and Jack Cust. Well, action in both pens. Javier Lopez warming up for the Red Sox. There is Keith Folk. You mentioned last inning, Jerry, of course, had gone and signed with the Cleveland Indians last year, but decided during the offseason that he would not be reporting and retired. Has had a change of heart as Ellis drives one out towards left center field. Ellsbury back onto the warning track to make the catch. Ellis had homered back in the first, makes another bid, but is out number 1 of the 7th. So 1 down, and Derek Barton coming up. Barton walked in the first inning, walked in the second inning, both times against Daisuke, before Matsuzaka would strike him out in the 5th. Kyle Snyder's night is over as Terry Francona takes the baseball from him with 1 out in the 7th. The pitching change from the Tokyo Dome.
Hi, Tom Karen with you for a State Street game break. Employees of State Street woke up early like the rest of us this morning, taking in the game at the State Street Pavilion with a couple of championship trophies on hand. So hello to everyone at the Pavilion, and hello to Don Orsillo in Tokyo.
Thanks very much, Tom. Well, Terry Francona has made a change. Javier Lopez comes into the game, the 3rd pitcher of the night for the Red Sox.
Well, Lopez last year 61 appearances for the Red Sox out of the bullpen, a 2-1 record, 3.10 ERA. Of course, with the left-handers Martin and Custu up, that's why they go to Lopez in this situation.
Call the bullpen brought to you by New England Ford dealers. Javier Lopez beginning his 3rd season in the Red Sox organization. Traded to the Red Sox back in 2006 from the Chicago White Sox. And in the majors parts of 5 seasons now. 61 relief appearances last year for the Red Sox. Previous big league time prior to the Red Sox from Colorado and Arizona. Now 10 pro seasons for Javier Lopez, who will turn 31 in July. A strike to Barton over the outside corner, and it's a ball and a strike. Lopez pitched 5 times in the postseason for the Red Sox last year, including 3 appearances in the American League Championship Series against the Indians. This is lined right at Youkilis for out number 2.
I don't think Youkilis was quite sure how many outs there were. It looked like he was headed toward that Red Sox dugout. As we look into the bullpen and see Keith Folk loosening up.
You know, 2 down, and it brings up Jack Cust. Keith Folk in all 4 of his spring training outings gave up at least 1 run in each. They're at a 15.75 ERA during the spring for Bob Guerin and the Oakland A's. Swing and a miss, and the count 1-1. He appears to be preparing in this tightly knit contest as the A's bat here in the 7th inning with 2 down.
Well, he's supposed to be the setup guy for Houston Street.
One and one to Cust. Pitch outside, 2-1. Well, Snyder went an inning and a third, giving up 2 hits, 2 runs. He's on the hook right now. Didn't walk anybody. And struck out a batter. As Lopez misses inside, it's now 3-1 to Cust.
Sidearm delivery from Lopez. Very tough on left-handed hitters. It's almost like as a left-handed hitter looking out toward the second baseman.
This chops it foul outside of first, and it's a full count now to the Oakland DH. Action in the Red Sox pen down below where Brian Corey is starting to warm up. This came Matsuzaka tonight going the first 5. Kyle Snyder an inning and a third. And Javier Lopez has recorded an out so far here in the 7th. There's 2 outs in the inning as Snyder started the inning. The Red Sox are without Mike Timlin for these 2 games here against the Oakland A's. The comebacker to the mound, who was hit in the finger during spring training as Lopez strikes out Cust. To end the 7th, it's 4-3 A's. Back at the Tokyo Dome in Tokyo, Japan. This game summary is brought to you by your local Lincoln Mercury dealers. Well, the Oakland A's took a 2-0 advantage in the first inning against Daisuke. Mark Ellis with a home run. The Red Sox would be stymied for the first 5 innings by Joe Blanton, but a 3-run attack in the 6th inning. A 2-run double by Manny Ramirez. An RBI single from Brandon Moss, which put the Red Sox on top 3-2. Back came the Oakland A's and Jack Hanahan, who had a 2-run home run in the 6th. Of Kyle Snyder to put the A's on top 4-3. And that's where we stand as we head into the top half of the 8th inning. Hanahan, his first home run of the year after hitting 3 last year, but a big one for the A's on this opening night from the Tokyo Dome. Well, ironically, the Red Sox tonight, after dealing with Joe Blanton, have dealt with nothing but former teammates. Alan Embry an inning and a third of shutout pitching, and now Keith Folk in his return to the major leagues. His first pitch to Kevin Youkilis.
That's the 2nd time that he's been with Oakland. Of course, begins his 11th season in the major leagues. 2nd time with the A's. Was last with them in 2003. As Don mentioned, went to sign a contract with Cleveland, but then retired prior to spring training. Feels healthy again and back here with Oakland.
Last pitch for the Red Sox. 3-1 record. 44 relief appearances for the Red Sox. As this one is popped up down the first baseline. Barton over by the stands, reaching in, and cannot make the catch. Well, and Embry did a pretty good job, an inning and a third. If he hit no runs, no walks, and he struck out a batter. And a big double play out of Julio Lugo after Jacoby Ellsbury had singled to begin the 7th inning.
Well, it's hard to forget the job that Keith Folk did back in that 2004 World Series for the Red Sox, all through the postseason.
Could make an argument that he was the World Series MVP. Youkilis drives one to center field. Sweeney is back onto the track to make the catch. No distance marker out there in center field, but it's got to be around the 400 mark, and Youkilis using every bit of it out there to center field for the first out.
We remember Folk is a fastball changeup slider pitcher. He has been working all spring on a split-fingered fastball.
One down for David Ortiz. Ortiz 0 for 3. And it came up with runners at first and second in the 6th inning. Joe Blanton got him to foul out. A big sequence in the 6th inning. Then on the hands and sent foul off to the left. Well, Corey has been joined now by Manny Del Carmen as the Red Sox have double-barreled action in their pen.
Now, tough to tell there. If the Red Sox were to tie the game or take the lead, you'd probably see Del Carmen. If it stays 4-3, you may see Corey.
Ortiz pops it up foul. Suzuki coming back. That'll make its way back into the seats. Ortiz now. Ramirez waits on deck with one out here in the 8th. Ortiz waiting on a 1-2 pitch from Keith Folk. And it's just away, 2-2.
Again, that fastball from Folk, it's always been around 88 miles an hour, but it relies on pinpoint control.
In the dirt, and a full count now to Big Papi. Mentioned the problems for Folk during the spring. Gave up runs in each of his 4 outings that he made during spring training. Opponent's batting average at 400 during the exhibition season for the A's. Ortiz with a check swing foul off to the left. We're talking about the postseason for Folk, a 0.64 ERA in 2004 for Boston. Gave up just 1 earned run in 14 innings in the postseason. He slices it foul this time. David sends it out towards left field. Emil Brown is there to make the catch on the sinking liner. And there's 2 down in the 8th.
2 balls hit pretty hard in this inning off Folk. The one by Kevin Youkilis, and now the line drive, a sinking line drive by David Ortiz, but 2 outs.
Well, 2 away for Manny Ramirez. A big double in the 6th inning for the Red Sox. After flying out on 2 occasions, hit the double to drive in Pedroia and Youkilis in the 6th. And pick up his first 2 RBIs of the season. As he takes ball 1 from Folk. Now, last year the Red Sox at Kansas City dropped the first game of the year 7-1. Last win on opening day for the Red Sox got to go back to 2006 and beating Texas 7-3 at Texas. This is the 8th straight opener for Manny Ramirez. And he has made a little addition to his stance this year, as this one is fouled into the catcher's mitt. That stance where he kind of points the bat out towards the pitcher. He did a lot of that during spring training, a la Jim Thome like.
And that's that split-fingered fastball there from Folk on the 2-0 count. Bat coming across and catching Kazuki right off the helmet.
Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2.
Both times when you think you're going to get a fastball from Folk, neither time do you get one.
Strike 3 call. Ramirez knew it, and it's a 1-2-3/8 in the return for Keith Folk. Red Sox trail 4-3 at the end of 7. It's time now for our leading off segment, brought to you by Firestone. I mentioned some of the opening day numbers for the Red Sox. They've actually lost 6 of the last 7 opening days. April 1st to 98. Only other opening day against Oakland, a 2-0 victory. And First time the Red Sox have come back with second baseman and shortstop combination back-to-back in the years since Marty Barrett and Jody Reed came back in back-to-back years. So it has been a while for the Red Sox, who are trying to come from behind in this opener. Tokyo, Japan trailing by a run as we head to the last half of the eighth. The new Red Sox pitcher, fourth pitcher of the night, Brian Corey.
Corey last year, most of the year at Pawtucket, 58 appearances, 9 with the Red Sox. Of course, all those out of the bullpen for Boston, a 1-0 record in those 9 appearances.
Coming in the pitch for the Red Sox, number 30, Brian Corey.
We'll have to deal with Emil Brown. Javier Lopez, the final 2 outs of the 7th inning, as he retired both Derek Barton and Jack Cutts to end the 7th. Emil Brown leads it off in the 8th. It's Brown, Crosby, and Hanahan. Houston Street has started to warm in the Oakland bullpen as the A's bat here in the last half of the 8th. Ninth's scheduled to be Lowell, Moss, and Veritek. Brown walked in the first, popped out to first in the third, grounded back to the mound in the 5th. Corey, who had a very good spring for the Red Sox, finds himself on the roster here on opening day for the Red Sox in Tokyo. 34-year-old makes his home in Mesa, Arizona during the offseason. Now parts of 3 seasons with the Red Sox. Fly ball to center. Jacoby Ellsbury headed back. Leaps and makes the catch in center field. Jacoby Ellsbury with the grab as he hits the wall on the way down. But a great grab in center for the first out of the inning.
Well, we've seen a lot of balls hit hard in this area tonight, all the way back to center field. But Ellsbury full speed, the leap, and then falling down, crashing into the wall, able to hold on to the baseball. Boy, he timed that leap just absolutely perfect. Going back toward the wall.
He was in the air for a very long time.
And falling back, going back in the air.
So Jacoby Ellsbury with a great grab here for the first out of the 8th inning on a ball that Emil Brown crushes to center. And it brings up Bobby Crosby.
One more look at that fine catch by Jacoby Ellsbury in center field. He gets a good jump. He backs up. He goes into the jump and then crashes right into the bottom of that wall and still able to hold on to the baseball.
Crosby after the 1-1 pops it up. Youkilis into foul ground. Can't make the catch, just out of his reach. Dealing with the box seats jetting out. Kel Nessing bringing you Red Sox Go Global, sponsored by State Street, the world's leading provider of financial services to institutional investors. One down here in the last half of the 8th inning. Brian Corey dealing with his second batter as the Red Sox open the season from the Tokyo Dome. The 1-2 to Crosby. And on the hands and dribbled right in front of the plate. Veritek quickly out to grab it, and he throws out Crosby, 2 down.
Well, you talk about getting in somebody's kitchen. Corey there with that fastball right on the hands of Bobby Crosby. It's one of those swings where you start to swing and go, oh my God, why did I do this? traveled about, what, 5 inches.
So 2 down. Red Sox pitching is now retired. 8 batters in a row. Everybody sensed the big 2-run home run by Jack Hanahan. And it brings up Jack Hanahan right back to the mound. Ryan Corey. And a very good spring training and continues it right into the regular season. A 1-2-3-8. Big night coming up for the Red Sox. They trail by a run. Well, it's on to the top half of the 9th inning back at the Tokyo Dome, and on for the Oakland A's, their closer, Houston Street.
Well, Street, after having 37 saves in 06, last year only 16, because he spent a lot of the year on disabled list, a couple of months on the DL. He only made 48 appearances, 16 saves, and a 5-2 record out of that bullpen for the Oakland Athletics.
A pretty good job by Keith Folk in the 8th.
That looked like the Folk in 2004. Throwing the changeup, throwing the slider, and then when you're not expecting it, hitting the corner with the fastball like he did to Ramirez.
Well, Joe Blanton giving up 3 runs, a starter tonight for the A's. Embry, an inning and a third, giving up a hit. Keith Folk works the 8th. And he retired all 3 batters he faced. He had to go through the tough part. Euclid, Ortiz, and Ramirez. Now it's Mike Lowell lead it off in the 9th. Embry, the pitcher of record right now for the A's. On the hook for the Red Sox, Kyle Snyder, as we begin the 9th. Lowell reaches out after the 1-0, flips it to shallow center. Sweeney coming on for out number 1.
Immediately following the game, join Tom Karen, Jim Rice, and Ken Montner on Granite City Electric's Extra Innings Extra. Ken and Jim will recap Daisuke's opening day start, and we'll have reaction from the Red Sox clubhouse.
1 down in the 9th. As Brandon Moss will put the Red Sox on top with his RBI single in the 6th. Red Sox had taken a 3-2 lead. So would quickly relinquish it in the bottom of the 6th inning on the 2-run home run by Jack Hanahan. But a big start to the season for Brandon Moss. Inserted in the Red Sox lineup just before the game tonight, with J.D. Drew ailing with some lower back stiffness. Ball to strike now to Moss.
The Red Sox out hitting the A's 8-4, but trailing by a run. They've had trouble stacking hits together. Only 1 inning today, the 6th, when they were able to get the 3 runs.
And a rocky beginning tonight for Daisuke Matsuzaka, who very much settled down after a rough first 2 innings. Moss with a swing and a miss. Houston Street, who saved 37 games in 2006.
Good change up there by Houston Street. Keeping it down, keeping it away from the left-hander.
"20 blown saves in the last 3 seasons for Street. That's the most in the American League. He's not been sure-handed, but as I mentioned, 37 saves back in 2006. Last year, 16 and 48 appearances. Moss drives one to deep right field. Back goes Buck at the wall. It is gone. Brandon Moss, on opening night, inserted in the Red Sox lineup, has paid instant dividends. He ties the game in the 9th.
That's amazing how things go. J.D. Drew, a late scratch. Brandon Moss put in the lineup. A base hit in the 6th to drive in a run. Now the home run in the 9th to tie the score.
Just got done telling you the number of blown saves for Houston Street over the last 3 years, and right back at it on opening night for the A's. A chance to grab their first victory and Brandon Moss takes care of that with a home run that ties the game. Well, for Brandon Moss, who appeared in 2 stints last year for the Red Sox, a fantastic year for the Paw Sox, the MVP, and tonight his first major league home run. And it couldn't have come at a better time for the Red Sox to tie the game. Moss was 16 home runs for the Paw Sox last year. And a total of 66 in the minors. Pitch in the dirt outside. Well, Daisuke Matsuzaka at one point had a chance to get a victory tonight. Well, Kyle Snyder was on the hook, but the Red Sox have tied things up here in dramatic fashion in the 9th. Upstairs to get Veritek, who strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. 2 down.
LA's had it lined up just the way they wanted to do it. That's that pitch again that was supposed to be away. It stayed inside, and Brandon Moss into that first or second row. Corey, Daisuke, Euclid, they all like that.
What a night tonight for Brandon Moss with 2 outs in the 9th. There's Jacoby Ellsbury, made a great catch last inning. As Okajima, the left-hander, Papelbon, the right-hander. Now Ellsbury to deep right, but foul. As he crushes it down the right field line, but it twists its way foul.
He got out in front of a breaking ball there from Houston Street, a bad breaking ball.
Well, look back to the A's last year, and you mentioned Alan Embry with 17 saves. And should Houston Street get out to another tough start, which he already has here on opening night, you wonder whether or not they would go back to Embry during the season, as Street really has run into some trouble over the last few years.
They could go back to Keith Foulke.
They very well could with his performance tonight. Drops down, and Ellsbury lines it to the left. Emil Brown is there. The Red Sox are gone in the 9th, but not before Brandon Moss has homered to tie the game 4-a-side. Now the excitement here at the Tokyo Dome as Hideki Okajima returns to the site that he called home here with the Giants. Began back in 1995, and he comes here with the Red Sox this time around.
Yeah, and he got a huge ovation as he popped out of that Red Sox dugout. The flash bulbs going again. I mean, actually the reception for Okajima bigger than the one for Daisuke. Okajima 66 games last year, Red Sox All-Star.
One of their own, former Yomiuri Giant right here at the Tokyo Dome. They received a huge ovation over the weekend in the exhibition games. And they have been standing since he came in here to begin things in the bottom of the 9th. As the Red Sox and A's now tied thanks to Brandon Moss. A solo shot in the top half of the 9th. The blown save for Houston Street. And a tight one here on opening night for the Red Sox from Tokyo, Japan. As Okajima will deal first with Kurt Suzuki. Well, the Red Sox bullpen, with the exception of the 2-run home run given up by Kyle Snyder, was very good. Javier Lopez and Brian Corey to give the Red Sox the chance to be just down by a run for the home run by Brandon Moss. And now it's Okajima who pitches the 9th. strike one. That's to the delight of this Tokyo Dome crowd. It's Suzuki with a single in the second inning. He's lined out to short and struck out. Suzuki, born in Hawaii, resides in Redondo Beach, California. Talk about flashballs. Wow. All over the ballpark, and it's 0-2. He stays alive, still 0-2. And Hideki Okajima, who arrived on the scene with not much fanfare last year.
There you see that grip of the okie dokie. What it is a split-fingered fastball.
Really making a name for himself out of the gate with the Red Sox last year in that matchup against the Yankees at Fenway Park. The Papelbon was not available, and he was able to save the game. And from there, just rode that momentum the rest of the season. And of course, an all-star voted by the fans. The last all-star spot. The online voting.
It's interesting that the okie dokie pitch, the split-fingered fastball, is one he didn't have when he pitched here. That's one he learned last year in the Red Sox bullpen during spring training.
His 1-2 pitch to Suzuki. Struck him out. One down in the ninth for Okajima.
Fastball from Okajima at about 87 miles an hour, but on the inside part of the plate. And the fans here at the Tokyo Dome love it. See their former pitcher pick up the strikeout.
Well, one down for Ryan Sweeney, who was 0 for 3. Mike Sweeney pinch hitting here for Ryan Sweeney, who had been 0 for 3 in the game.
Long-time member of the Kansas City Royals. Came up as a catcher, went to first base, and basically DH'd the last couple of years.
Takes ball 2 outside. It's 2-0. Red Sox pitching has now retired 10 Oakland A's in a row. Ever since the 2-run shot by Jack Hanahan back in the 6th. Check swing. Did he go? No. Leonard Wintelstead said he held up. And Okajima falls behind now, 3-0. '14th Major League season for Mike Sweeney. He walks on 4 pitches with 1 out in the 9th.
Looks like there'll be a pinch runner coming out for Sweeney.
Fiorentino will pinch run at first base. Jeff Fiorentino.
He'll probably go in if the game continues out into center field.
So 1 out, 1 on, and it's back up top for Travis Buck, who was 0 for 4 in the game. Buck has grounded out, struck out twice, and popped out to second base. Fiorentino held on at first by Youkilis with one away in the ninth. And it's strike one to Buck. Walk by Okajima, the first walk allowed by Red Sox pitching since the third inning. Daisuke Matsuzaka had walked 5 in 5 innings. On the ground, foul outside of first, and Okajima jumps ahead, 0-2. Base runner in Fiorentino at first base runner for the A's since the 6th inning. Inside 1-2 now to Buck. Fiorentino widening his lead a little bit at first base. As Buck hits a fly ball to center field, Ellsbury back to the base of the track to make the catch, route number 2. Buck gives it a ride, but there's 2 down in the ninth.
I don't know how deep it is on center field, but it went pretty good to get out of that part of the ballpark. There have been a number of balls tonight hit hard towards center field for outs. Fiorentino at first base probably should have been back tagging up. He might have got into scoring position. He started back in that direction, but it was too late.
So 2 down, Fiorentino at first base, and Mark Ellis with a home run back in the first inning. One of 2 home runs tonight for the A's. Also hit 19 home runs last year, 76 RBIs. He was 1 for 3 in the game tonight with a walk and that home run.
Red Sox outfield with the man at first base very, very deep. All the way around.
Red Sox trailed 2-0 tonight, took a 3-2 lead. And trailed 4-3 before the game-tying solo home run by Moss in the ninth. That has tied this game up 4-4. Okajima with 1 out. Walked Mike Sweeney. Fiorentino running for him. There's now 2 outs in the inning and a runner at first. Now the 2-0 to Ellis. Lifts it foul off to the left, back and out of play. Houston Street, the blown save tonight, had the 1-run lead going into the ninth prior to that home run by Brandon Moss. Two and 1 the count to Mark Ellis. Yeah, the strike call. Ellis was getting out of the way, and it grabs the inside corner, according to Rick Reed. 2-2.
Turning that shoulder back in and try to make the pitch look a little bit worse than what it actually was.
3 and a full count now to Ellis. Fiorentino held on by Youkilis at first base. 2 down, last of the ninth. In a 4-4 game from Tokyo. Back to the mound, Okajima. Underhanded to first, and we're headed for extra frames. Tied at 4 from the Tokyo Dome. Frames from the Tokyo Dome. The 10th inning, and Julio Lugo lead it off for the Red Sox. As it'll be Lugo, Pedroia, and Youkilis here in the 10th. And Houston Street returning to the mound for the A's. Lugo 1 for 3, a single in the 3rd. And a swing and a miss. Begin things here in the 10th inning. Houston Street with a blown save in the 9th with 1 out, surrendered. A solo home run to Brandon Moss. And then strikeout Veritek got Ellsbury to line out to end the 9th. And is back out there for the 10th.
Lugo wanted to call timeout prior to that pitch. Put his arm up. He was not allowed timeout and took the strike. He was down 0-2. He does that a lot. A lot of times he doesn't get it from the umpire.
To the count to Julio Lugo. On the ground down the line, Hanahan on the backhand with a long throw. In and out of the glove of Blanton. And Lugo will reach to begin things here in the 10th.
Gonna go as a base hit for Julio Lugo. Another play that Hanahan has to go toward the line. And the long throw is just going to bounce at first base. Barton can't come up with it. And Lugo picks up the base hit. Well, a few options here for Terry Francona. Straight on steal, bunt, hit and run.
Roy with 2 hits in the game tonight, 2 for 4. Squares and bunts it down the first baseline. Barton to first base. Pedroia getting the job done as Lugo into scoring position. Without 1 out in the 10th.
Yeah, it's a good thing he had speed at first base and Julio Lugo, because that ball was bunted hard by Dustin Pedroia. But Lugo very fast, and by the time Barton got the ball and picked over there, he had no chance to go to second base. Plus on this carpet too, it's going to get to that first baseman quicker. There's the look, no chance. So Pedroia gets the job done.
1 down in the 10th, and Kevin Youkilis coming up. The go-ahead run now in scoring position with 1 out in the 10th. Youkilis with an infield hit in the 3rd inning. He's also walked and scored, 1 for 3 in the game tonight. As he takes strike 1 from Houston Street. Suzuki to the backhand to rescue that. That's a ball and a strike to Youkilis. Red Sox have their closer ready to go as they look to grab the lead. Former Red Sox left-hander Lenny DiNardo up in the A's pen. Kevin Youkilis, a batter with 1 out, and Lugo in scoring position. Youkilis pops it up, foul ground, backing out of play.
There's one that streak got away with it too. Breaking ball, kind of flat, just hung out over the plate. But Youkilis fouls it back.
David Ortiz waiting on deck with 1 out in the 10th. Swing and a miss. Youkilis strikes out. A big strikeout for Houston Street.
Yeah, we'll see how they attack this. Would they put David Ortiz on first base with 2 outs and pitch to Manny, or go after David Ortiz? Always tough decisions for the opposing manager.
Amazes me how often guys will go after Ortiz. They're always tough when you get Manny standing in behind him.
Now they're going to put him on first base here.
Oh, this one almost got away.
Took a heck of a play by Suzuki to keep that from going back to the backstop. Well, Manny with a big hit in the game, driving in 2 runs. That coming back in the 6th inning. Gee, this is ridiculous. They were all like wild pitches. I mean, some were up and away, some were down and in. He had Suzuki bouncing all over the place on an intentional walk.
Intentional walks should be easier than that.
Well, the other two just let the guy go to first base.
First and second, 2 down. Kurt Young, the pitching coach, out to talk to Houston Street as they prepare to deal with Manny Ramirez. Bob Guerin kind of picking his poison here, electing not to pitch to Ortiz. Take his chances with Ramirez. But a big 2-run double in the 6th inning. Big part of this contest tonight, driving in his first 2 runs of the game. Sox, maybe the road team technically, have really been celebrated as the home team here at the Tokyo Dome. Swing and a miss for Ramirez. Leo Lugo got on to begin the inning on the infield hit. The sacrifice bunt for Pedroia. The strikeout by Street of Kevin Youkilis before the intentional walk of David Ortiz. First and second, 2 down in the 10th. There goes Lugo for third as Ramirez fouls it off to the right. Ortiz remained at first, but Lugo was off of the pitch.
Well, sometimes that becomes a distraction for the hitter at the plate. A lot of hitters don't like that guy at second base taking off and running. But who knows? I mean, you could draw a bad throw to third base and you sneak out a run.
And Manny quickly down 0-2. Red Sox tying the game 4-4 in the 9th. Now have 2 on in the 10th. Up and away. Now it's a ball and 2 strikes. Outfield straight away for the A's. Go ahead run at second and Julio Lugo. The 1-2. Ramirez drives to center field. Fiorentino headed back onto the track. Leaps. It's off the wall. Scoring is Lugo. Ortiz behind him from first. Ramirez drives in 2 runs to put the Red Sox on top in the 10th.
Big night here for Manny Ramirez. A couple of doubles, 4 runs batted in. Street got ahead of him very quickly, but couldn't put him away. Once again, very deep out to center field off that wall, and a big night for Ramirez.
Well, after being held to 88 RBIs last year, 4 already tonight.
Manny thought he had enough for a home run. He wasn't running. And then when he realized he just had to go off the wall, that's when he picked it up to get into second base.
Well, nearly did get out of here. Had to throw it into another gear. As Bob Guerin stands at the mound to make the change. Houston Street blew the save in the 9th inning of the home run by Moss, and has given up a 2-run double to Manny Ramirez. It has put the Red Sox on top 6-4 in the 10th. The pitching change from the Tokyo Dome. Red Sox pulled ahead 6-4 here in the 10th inning, and the new pitcher on for the Oakland A's is Lenny DiNardo.
Well, Lenny spending all last year with the A's. He made 35 appearances, actually made 20 starts, and had a record of 8-10 for Oakland last season. 2006 pitched 13 games for the Red Sox before heading over to Oakland. Well, this has been a very entertaining and interesting first game of the season, to say the least. Looked like the Red Sox were going to lose this baby. You had Brandon Moss with a big home run in the 9th. Manny with a huge night, 4 RBIs. The Red Sox now find themselves with a 2-run lead, and Papelbon waiting in the wings.
Well, Houston Street, as you see Papelbon getting ready to come on for the bottom half of this inning. An inning that'll be Barton, Cust, and Brown expected 3, 4, and 5 for the A's. The pinch runner here for the Red Sox, Manny Ramirez, coming out of the game. As Coco Crisp will run. So a big night for Manny. 2 hits, both doubles, and 4 runs batted in, as they will intentionally walk Mike Lowell with first base open.
They intentionally walked David Ortiz, and Manny made him pay.
Brandon Moss has had a big night. This single put the Red Sox on top 3-2 in the 6th, and then the solo home run off Houston Street in the 9th to put it into extra frames, tying the game 4-4.
Well, the young guys have a lot to be proud of tonight. Moss with a big night offensively. Ellsbury with a tremendous catch out in center field. And Moss, off-speed pitch that stayed inside, and he just hooks it into the bleachers in right field.
We're looking to add on to his great night with runners at first and second, 2 down in the 10th. Houston Street with a blown save in the ninth. And now it's on the hook with the Red Sox grabbing 2 runs off him in the 10th. Still responsible for Crisp, who runs at second base for Ramirez. Lost with a big swing and a miss.
One more look at the home run in the mislocation there by Houston Street. He must have got that souvenir too. That's his first home run, and it bounced back on the playing field.
Ball to left field. Emil Brown makes the catch that ends things in the 10th. But the Red Sox get 2 runs to pull ahead 6-4. Paps will be on when we come back. Well, the Red Sox pulling ahead with 2 runs in the top half of the 10th inning, and now it's on to the closer for the last half of the 10th. The first time in 2008, Jonathan Papelbon.
Well, back-to-back years, 2006, 35 saves, 37 last year for Papelbon, and in 59 appearances. The numbers were remarkable. 58 in third innings, only 30 hits allowed, gave up 5 home runs in the season, had 84 strikeouts in 58 in the third innings.
Red Sox with some defensive changes as Coco Crisp, who had pinch run for Manny Ramirez, stays in the game and moves into center field. Jacoby Ellsbury had been at center, moves from center to left. So the outfield now, Ellsbury, Crisp, and Moss. And into the game at shortstop for the Red Sox is Alex Cora for Julio Lugo. Well, the last time the Red Sox played extra innings in an opening day scenario, going to go back to 2001 at Camden Yards in Baltimore, where the Orioles defeated the Red Sox 2-1 in extra frames. But tonight the Red Sox have a chance to finish it off. As you see Coco now in center field. Derek Barton will lead it off. The Oakland A's here in the bottom of the 10th. Much to the delight of this Tokyo crowd, Hideki Okajima has a chance to get the victory here tonight in his return to the Tokyo Dome as he pitched the last half of the 9th inning. Striking out a batter, walking a batter. And it's Barton to lead it off here in the bottom of the 10th for the A's. He's walked twice, struck out, and lined out. And take strike 1 from Papelbon. Tied for 6th in the American League with 37 saves. Finished a total of 53 games. The first Red Sox pitcher with at least 30 saves in 2 different seasons. With 35 in 2006, 37 last year. With a swing and a miss, and he's down 1-2.
That's the splitter from Papelbon. Worked a little bit on his slider during spring training, but when you get into the real competition, you go back to what you do best, and that's fastball splitter.
Up and away, 2-2 now to Barton. The Sox and A's will do it again tomorrow. John Lester against Rich Harden from the Tokyo Dome. It's an early morning start time back on the East Coast. This one fouled to the screen and it hangs at 2-2. That's Cora at shortstop now for the Red Sox, taking over for Lugo. 2-2 to Barton with Jack Cust waiting on deck. by Baratek, but it's ball 3.
Now there have been pitches tonight that have been a lot closer than that have not been called strikes.
And Barton staying alive, fouling it to the screen. Today's team had a 2-0 advantage. And a 4-3 lead. Different points of the game. The Red Sox tying it up 4-4 in the ninth, and the home run by Brandon Moss. They pull ahead 6-4. And the second 2-run double of the night for Manny Ramirez. Papelbon trying to finish it off in the 10th. Ball 4, and he walks the leadoff batter for the A's in the 10th.
Francona's going to tell Youkilis play just behind him at first base.
Here's Jack Cust. 26 home runs last year for the A's. Hit by a pitch in the first inning by Daisuke, and then struck out 3 times. Strike 1 from Papelbon. Strike 2 as Cust has looked at a couple 95 that time from Papelbon.
Yeah, I think they're a little hotter than that. Our gun here is quite a distance from behind home plate. And all night long, and it appears to be a little bit below what those pitches should be. He's probably up around 97 with those last 2 fastballs.
Just after the 0-2 and fouls it off to the left. Well, Daisuke Matsuzaka started here tonight with the first 5 innings, gave up 2 runs. Did leave with a chance to win the game. As the Red Sox are taking the lead with 3 runs in the top of the 6th. Stands to get a no decision tonight on this opening night for the Red Sox in his return to Japan. Since then, we've seen Snyder, Lopez, Corey, Okajima. And Papelbon on now. Papelbon walking Barton to begin things here in the 10th. Now the count of 1-2 to Cust. Emil Brown waits on deck. Struck him out for the first out of the 10th.
Tough time tonight making contact for Cust as he goes down for the 4th time. Papelbon once again with that fastball up and away. That uppercut swing, can't catch up to it. Cust a dead low ball hitter.
So 1 down. Barton still at first base. Emil Brown the batter. Out towards right center field and the gap area as that gets down to the track on the wall. Barton from first base will be waved around. The throw is coming to the plate, cut off. Youkilis throws to third base as the run comes in. They are going to try to run down Emil Brown, and they do as Youkilis applies the tag.
What a Terrible base running play by Emil Brown.
Yeah, the tying run in scoring position.
Absolutely. He gets a double. He's in scoring position. They're down by 2 runs. And for some crazy reason, he thinks he can make third base, get caught in a rundown. And now they got nobody on base. Brutal base running there. Beautiful swing here to find that gap on the fastball against Papelbon. Well, that's where the good stuff ends for Emil Brown. He's doing this on his own, too. And now he gets caught in a rundown, and that's a huge play for the Red Sox. Big play.
The tying run in scoring position with 1 out. Instead, 2 outs now, and the base is empty. Bobby Crosby batting.
He looked like he was running. He was going to run till he got tagged out. Like he made his mind up.
Crosby lines it into center field. A 2-0 pitch. And the tying run down at first base for the A's.
And there would have been your tying ball game. He knows he made a mistake. It's too late right now. I'll tell you one thing. They're attacking Papelbon, aren't they?
Yes, they are. 2 outs in the inning. Tying run at first base now for Jack Hanahan, who's already homered in this game. Hanahan with a 2-run shot in the 6th inning. We've already seen one closer blow a save tonight, as Houston Street did so in the 9th. And is on the hook as he gave up 2 runs in the top half of this inning. As it's strike 1 to Hanahan. Hanahan, the 5th batter that Papelbon has had to face. Really fortunate that Emil Brown was run down and ran into that 2nd out. On a strike now to Hanahan.
2 base hits off Papelbon in this inning, both on fastballs. Emil Brown. And then Crosby on the fastball. 4 RBI night for Ramirez.
Into left field, a base hit for Hanahan as the tying run moves into scoring position. And Crosby and yet another hit off Papelbon, the 3rd straight hit now for the A's off the Boston closer. And this will bring the pitching coach John Farrell to the mound.